All right, fellas. It's Raging Loop. This loop cannot possibly make me any more enraged. All right. Hang on. Discord was not unmuted. Repeat your jokes, guys. Everyone repeat your jokes. I missed the button.
I'm upset about the circle.
I'm upset about the circle. Don't worry, Gomez. You'll be fine. We'll just loop back in on itself. It's fine. All right. What is?
I haven't either.
Oh my God, Dubby.
No.
This is a problem.
We are professionals. We are true professionals.
So, last time, we came to the sleepy little town, sleepy little village, whose name is escaping me, but I can remember it by going to the gallery and looking at this little drawing. Yasumizu. The little town of Yasumizu, featuring, Pokemon Rangers Guardian signs, on the mountaintop. But yeah, so we're in Yasumizu, and on Mount Shinai, and we are on a road trip to discover ourselves after our girlfriend dumped us for being a dipshit. We don't actually know why we were dumped, but yeah, I mean, like, based on
our protagonist's actions and personality, I can have an idea.
Yeah, I don't have any idea why, but it's pretty obvious. But yeah, so we arrived in Yasumizu, and there's wolves among us, so in the town, or this is us. This is Fusashi-kun, or Protag-kun, or Bike Crash,
Or John
if
S.
you will.
Kennedy.
Yeah. No, Cleon F. Lenity.
Sure.
I'm just refusing to associate him with my boy. Although the resemblance is uncanny. There's the spirit of the monkeys, the snake, the crow, the wolf, and then the spider. And why are there two? Oh, wolf people and that. But yeah, so
If you're familiar with Party Game Mafia or Town of Salem or Werewolf, etc., it's that.
Yep.
It's straight up that.
Mm-hmm. So, does anyone recall what the rules of each role is?
This spider can stop someone from being killed overnight. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah. The spider protects. The snake identifies whether someone's a wolf or not. I believe the crow can see whether the person that just was hanged was a wolf or not.
Yes.
And is it the other one's the monkeys? Was it?
I have no idea what the monkeys do. If I'm being honest, I was part
They
of that.
know. They know who each other are.
Okay, so they know for a fact that they are not wolves, but that's about it.
Right.
Generally, yes.
Cool. All right, great. That's a good enough recap.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a crazy looking wolf.
Yeah.
This illustration always reminded me of the cave painting flashback from the Clone Wars cartoon by Gennady Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where it has yeah, it's such a cool little flashback sequence. But yeah, so in the sleepy little town of Yasumizu, we arrived, and then fog started rolling in, and then this lovely ensemble started to start getting paranoid, because
Problems happened.
problems happened. Yeah, it's not very
That
pleasant.
one person once.
Yeah.
Might have been two, I think.
Yes,
There was one person, just one very large
Two
person.
people have died so far. The food journalist and her partner.
The cameraman, yeah.
Yeah, I miss him already.
Yeah, and it's like those hidden role games. Every night the werewolf's going to kill somebody, and then every day the town has a chance to decide someone to string up and hang.
Yep.
And-
Fortunately, because we were of late arrival, essentially, we were our local love interest, whose name is escaping me because I'm a terrible host.
Gimme?
Chiemi, yes.
It's not like I have a list of names of everything because I couldn't remember them from last time.
No, that's good. That's good to have. So Fusashi was excluded from the proceedings because Chiemi made the argument that because we were an outsider, we weren't, we shouldn't be included. Yeah, we are a stinky boy who didn't follow the rules and still lived, therefore we were being overlooked by the mountain. So we're not eligible, therefore we are not included in the trials. But that does...
We live because we didn't leave the bathroom and get murdered by a werewolf. We did in the bad timeline.
Yeah. But, yeah.
There is, time loop stuff happening, hence the raging loop.
Yep.
Our first loop, we got murdered by a wolf.
Yep,
As we left. In the second one, we decided, why don't we instead not do that? And then we survived.
Yeah, and that ending was ending number 2. Just to infuriate everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally, there was no way to not get that ending first. Every other choice was locked off.
Correct.
A meaningful choice, at least.
Correct. So, with that all out of the way, let's dive right back in to a decision that it's gonna take a moment to process. Anyway, this place was basically abandoned. I couldn't expect any outside help. And everyone here believed they couldn't escape this place due to supernatural reasons. What were my options here? So our options are to leave and go into the supernatural fog, or stay. And I think I know what one of those two things is going to do.
Yeah, probably.
Let's get the fuck out of here and finish the game.
This place sucks. People are dying here. Let's leave.
This place sucks, yeah. It was probably best to just leave before I got too deep into this and while it was still bright out. Being left out of the feast hardly guaranteed my safety. I couldn't expect anyone to lead me out, but dropping dead in the middle of nowhere seemed better than getting eaten alive here. After making my decision, I wrapped up my conversation with Chiemi, and we returned to her room. She gave me some cup ramen, and it looked like she wouldn't tell me why she hadn't let me eat the dining hall's food until I asked. I didn't want to go any deeper into this than I already was, so I didn't ask. During lunch, Chiemi went to the bathroom. That was my chance. Took out a notepad, quickly wrote, "Sorry, I'm leaving" on it. Took my stuff, and left the room. Using the mist to my advantage, I passed the inhabitants and headed to the upper parts of the settlement. Alright, I got to the entrance to the mountain path. The road was unpaved and sided by 2 giant boulders reminiscent of a torii without a top. I could see why everyone was afraid to go beyond this point. The humid mountain forest looked both gloomy and scary, but walking further seemed far less risky than staying in this settlement. I walked ahead, and soon had to stop. The road was ruined. The car would have been useless here, so this was why Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san couldn't leave yesterday and had to spend the night in the van. However, I wasn't exactly heavied, so getting past this was easy. I had no idea why obstacles like this were enough to hold back video game characters. You could easily walk around it, holy shit. Though, they could have it worse. There was that one game where there was both an obstacle and an impassable cliff-like mist.
That's very vague.
I think it's referring to Silent Hill. Anyway, I kept on walking. Most of the ground here was covered in dead leaves, ferns, and moss, making it really slippery. I supported myself by holding on to nearby saplings, but I ended up breaking a few branches. This mountain seemed completely untouched. Fujiyoshi's people clearly didn't do any forestry. I came across a very steep slope. Climbing up was impossible. I'd come this far avoiding slopes and following the road, but before I knew it, I'd lost sight of the road.
Oops.
Oops.
It wasn't all that smart, but I decided to keep going up. Logic told me that I'd be closer to Kami Fujiyoshi the higher I got. Seriously, what was up with this mist? Couldn't see anything ahead of or behind me. I felt like I was swimming through rice water, or perhaps milk jelly. It seemed like it was heavier than air and too dense to breathe in. I felt like it would congeal around me the moment I stopped moving. What was I thinking? This was reality, and this was just a mist. I walked up the desolate slope, and kept walking. I had to constantly remind myself that this was just a mist, and this was nothing but reality.
It's just a mist. Ignore the werewolves.
I had no
This
idea
is
what happened in
completely
the
real.
end.
We're not in a visual novel.
Oh, that's a cop out.
What, really?
Yeah, let's take a listen to the hidden
Lame.
corner. All right, Dubby, you're the sheep.
This is your first voice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're done it now, eh, Chief? Let's get the hint out of the way and move right on to the next one. Bad ending 4, Mysterious Death in the Forest. Just like the rules say, it seems like you can't flee Yasumizu. Don't know why that is, but you probably wouldn't have believed it for yourself unless you tried it once, would you? Well, Haruaki
Haruaki
has-
Fusaishi. Yeah. There's
Haruaki
gonna be a lot of
Fusaishi.
names.
Can just read his things after he dies, for good or for ill. And retry as much as he wants until he gets it. If you want to go forward, just go back to 3 Yomi, leave Yasumizu, and pick the other choice.
Cool.
Well, that's enough of this time. Then another hearty death next time.
And
You
couldn't
got
even
it.
Give us like a strange rock slide or a
No.
sudden flash of some movement and blood. You just, oh, I died somehow.
Yeah, some of these endings really suck. Like, not even from the, oh, that's a terrible conclusion to the story kind of thing. More just a, wow, that was awful kind of thing. Disappearance, yeah, I'll say.
It'll definitely go better the second time.
Yeah, maybe I won't slip and fall and die. Let's stay. All right, let's actually have some dialogue. Being left out of the feast hardly guaranteed my safety. Obviously, escape was the ideal choice, but at this point, I didn't see anyone guiding me out. They should have had him mauled by a dragon. They should have had him be eaten by a grue. All I had to look forward to was either dropping dead somewhere in the mountains or becoming a snack in this village. Or getting eaten by a grue. The first seemed way more attractive, but unfortunately I'd gotten attached to the people here. Because the people here are very attractive. That's definite. It's a melting of thoughts. Not what is being said. Anyway, abandoning them at least would make it hard for me to sleep at night. That's why running away wasn't an option for me. I'll go ahead and ask, why aren't you letting me eat Yasumizu's stuff? What is this foreshadowing?
Oh, you noticed?
Yeah. And I figured I should clear up anything shady before it comes back to bite me. It's scary.
You got me. But really, this is just some insurance. A little medicine for the mind.
Oh? Tell me more.
You know how it can be, right? You eat something from a strange place, and next thing you know, you turn into a pig and can't run away.
Hey,
Yeah, I
remember
made that
last
last
stream
time.
when you made that exact joke? What? Is this hell or something? I'd seen that anime on DVD, by the way. Which way to the bathhouse? Tish.
I can't say it isn't.
It seemed like some serious overthinking to me, if not just serious superstition. How long will this last?
I brought a ton of food from the outside, so you should be fine for a while.
Cup ramen, huh? I did appreciate it, but I had mixed feelings on living like it was the apocalypse over a local superstition. Much as quiet, let me fix that.
I always am, or I'm deafening. Never in between.
Correct.
How's this?
Yep. I think that should be good.
Hopefully.
Anyway, we went to Chiemi's room, and she gave me some cup ramen. We'd agree I'd pay for it after all this was over. It's cup ramen, dude. That's not like... It's not exactly, like, high-end. I actually skipped 2 meals, so I was still hungry, but I was used to skipping meals to cut costs, so that wasn't a problem.
Oh no.
I wanted to relax and think things over, but Chiemi was curious about the others, and I ended up tagging along. It was probably because I wasn't in a position to be by myself. Hi, Kaori.
Oh, welcome. Are you here for lunch? Nope, we're just here to kill time. Can we sit?
Yes, so Kaori is the mother of the two schoolboys, the delinquent and the kid in the glasses, whose names are escaping me, but we will get to them in just a moment.
Yoshisugu and Yasunaga.
Yes.
I put a list of pictures of names in the casting channel.
Yeah, so
Anyone
that's a
else
good
reference that?
idea. I just have the casting chart open, and that doesn't have names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I put names on the casting chart. Is what I
Thank
did.
you very much. Yeah, there's a lot of names in this game, and I will do my best to correct pronunciations, but again, my pronunciations can also be flawed. The only reason I know the way that they are supposedly pronounced is because of the video that I watched on this game that introduced me to it. So, I'll be primarily going off of that, but if there's any turbo weebs in the chat, feel free to correct them. Can I have just some warm water instead?
Oh, but tea is good for you.
I'm the type who can't sleep if I drink tea.
Oh, see. Warm water it is then. I'd like to use
Sippy.
that too.
But you use water from here whenever you make cup ramen, right?
Oh shit.
You didn't realize that?
Maybe it's safe when you boil it?
Could hell's water really be purified by boiling?
Here you go. I must say you're quite unfortunate. Bike was broken and now you're... you know.
Oh, it's nothing compared to everyone else here. If I may ask, does this kind of thing happen often? Is it annual or something? I asked something important like it was no big deal.
No, it certainly isn't that common. Personally, this is my first feast. I did hear that people died when the mists appeared before. That was before most of us were here.
As in, they hadn't been ostracized back then? I could ask that, but I probably couldn't dig too deep.
For most of the population of this village is like people that got kind of kicked out of the village across the hill, bigger, fancier.
Yes.
Right.
The one person that definitely does live in Kamifujiyoshi, the next town over, whose name is Nosato. He is kind of yeah. Well, I don't even know if I'd say he's rich, because he's kind of ostracized.
He comes across as rich, at least.
Oh, he's an asshole, but I don't know if he's rich.
That stuffy noble archetype who lives in a gigantic ass mansion.
And there was an immediate choice there that we couldn't see. So interesting on that front. But also, I love how on the names that that Dragoni attached, went out of his way to attach clerk. Oh yeah, and there's this one other guy on the chart that has glasses and is just question marked out. I don't even remember that character, but
We haven't met him yet, I'm pretty sure.
No, we haven't, but I don't remember him either. I just saw him on the Spiders resource, and I was like, I guess I'm adding him. I'm pretty sure he's a minor guy that only shows up like once. Also, Dubby, just since you weren't here the first time, look at our little patch, or like our little logo on our jacket. Mogus. Anyway, so this is the first for many people here, right?
Yes, I think so.
I see. If that's the case, knowledge of the rules seems strangely well kept.
You see what kind of place this is, don't you? There's not much in the way of entertainment here, so the little ones grow up listening to the tales of their elders. Old tales and songs are always passed down and survive for a long time.
Songs?
Song.
Only one song. Whoa! The mysterious Mako-chan popped out of nowhere.
I learned the song.
Oh my, you did? Could you sing it for us?
Yeah, Dubby, could you sing it for us?
No. Shinai-san's guardians are 1 cake, 2 funky, 3 blow, 4 rider.
Cake, Funky, Blow, and Rider? So was it about a guy who had a funky birthday party with cake and ended the night on a happy note? The melody seemed familiar, though.
I guess it was a little too difficult for her.
Let's do this.
Eh? Oh no. Scroll. Scroll.
赤だし増やしてて鳴らしとくよ
Yep, that is actually relevant. Do you guys... Yeah, that was playing in the soundtrack at one point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely sounded like more melodious in Japanese than English.
Oh, yeah. There's only so much
Yeah.
you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Rikako.
Mako, this is where you were. Ah,
Her guardian came soon after.
Oh my. I'm sorry. We just had lunch, so the place is a bit of a mess.
Kaori Oribe-san humbled herself.
Oh no, I'm the one who should apologize. I let Mako wander off here.
Alright, so, Mako just kind of showed up in the village, much like we did, but because she properly lives here, we guess, she is included in the feast. Extremely unfortunately, because she is 5. At least we
Do we
think.
know how long she's been here?
Nope! Not long, though. She just showed up, and it was enough to make people nervous. But she's living with Rikako. Rikako is the Shrine Maiden, who we encountered at the shrine, and then we had an out-of-body experience where our text was in non-linear directions. At a House of Leaves moment.
yeah.
Mush.
Of course, we're
I'm making jokes in chat. It's your voice.
Oops. No need for that. It's a difficult time for us all. You are free to come here and relax whenever you like.
Good night, Gomez.
Aw.
Very well.
A silent thud. And a loud one. The woman just collapsed.
Ah! Are you okay? Oh dear. Are you hurt?
Apparently she wasn't trying some unique form of relaxation. She just tripped on the rail for the door.
Oh. Oh, it hurts.
She put her hands on her throbbing her throbbed nose and became teary-eyed. The lady's mysterious vibe crumbled in an instant. The woman noticed my surprise and pouted. She might have been more expressive than I realized.
Please don't look at me like that.
I'm sorry. Now that I think about it, this is the first time we've talked.
You might be right. My apologies.
Huh? For what?
I got you involved in this.
No, you didn't. We drove here.
Run.
Dun, 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 dun. You know the meme. Oh, yeah. You told me to run away.
I saw the evening mist come, but I hoped you could escape.
Oh, so that's how it was. Oh, so that's how it was. Doesn't understand it at all. A part of me thought you foretold the future or something.
Uematsu isn't the Lookout family.
The fuck does that mean?
I mean,
Now that-
each of the families were tied to one specific one of the four guardians, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hang on, I gotta adjust volumes a little bit. And there we go. What does that mean?
This isn't something we can share with outsiders.
Crap, Chiami's lack of reserve made me forget my boundaries here. I'm sorry. You're wearing some strange clothes, so I thought you were Shinto priestess or something.
Oh, I'm not that important.
Haruaki-san, don't bother Rikako-san too much.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Rikako-san.
Oh, you just called me by my first name.
God.
Sorry. Chiami called her that way, so I thought it was okay. Man, this was confusing.
I'm not that bothered.
Oh, sorry about that.
You two are getting along.
I'd have appreciated it if she didn't put me in a weird situation.
I'm going back. What about you, Mako?
I'll stay a little bit longer.
I was gonna say, Gomez, yeah, like, like as someone that that enjoys Danganronpa so much, I was a little surprised, but no, I get that. I totally get that. It is a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, especially during the trials when everyone's being very accusatory. It's very, yeah, I get you. Right.
I see. Come back before evening.
And so she left.
She's a bit weird, but still cute, right?
She is.
She's cute, right?
Is she?
Which one is it?
That's my question.
Natural beauties sure have it good. They look young and pretty no matter how old they get.
Don't let the werewolves bite. I think biting is the least of our worries. I think the dismemberment is a bigger problem. Well, that was some bait. I'll bite. How old is she?
I don't know. Pretty sure she's younger than 30, but definitely older than me.
That's older than expected.
I know, right? She's so little. You see that baby face?
The dismember. Ah! I don't like that. I don't like that. You.
Band.
By the way,
band.
is she? This is
That part
you,
was
Debbie,
Debbie.
on the right.
I was checking which one was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were now joined by the students. Did they go to school in the middle of this? I don't think they did, but like it's so strange that the context or like the way it's presented as the students joining at this
that is
particular
their,
moment.
like,
I know, but
age
like
category, I guess.
I know, but like in the context of like them joining all at once is just I don't know. Well, being framed like that is strange. Mom, can we come in now?
Oh, Yasunaga, Haru-chan, welcome.
Hey, you.
Yep, I'm you at your service.
No, you is in the chat.
You messing with me?
I was actually. What is it, Makishimi-san? Yeah.
You almost called me Haru-chan, didn't you? Only just met. Don't do that, it's unreasonable.
Calm down. Hysteric heroines aren't popular.
Still messing around. Came here to say something to you.
Her behavior was pretty unreasonable too, and to be honest, but instead of pointing it out, I just corrected my posture and waited to hear what she had to say.
You're getting too close to Chiene. She's pretty busy, so you should leave her alone and do your own thing.
I believe it is Ni as the honorific. I'm not 100%.
Nay.
certain, but-
Nay.
It's Nay?
It's Nay.
Okay. Okay, cool. Then that means the video I've been using is not infallible with pronunciation, so we'll just kind of wing it then. Fuck it. You were busy?
I wouldn't say so.
Even if she's had some free time, she's a lady. So you need to be considerate and keep a distance. It's a mature thing to do.
Well, that's true.
You agree, then just go away somewhere. This is why adults are so unfair, filthy, and annoying.
I mean, we tried, to be fair. Yes, I am a filthy old man. Haru-chan, did you really come with me just to say that? Oh, Mom, I have a message from Takumi-ni.
What is it?
We'll be going to sleep early for a while, so maybe we should have packed lunches.
Oh, that's true. I should hurry and start making the rice.
Also, Fusashi-san, take this. Vroom, vroom. Huh? Me? I was
What?
busy deflecting Haru-chan's attacks
Oh.
with my stupidity barrier, so being dragged into the conversation
What?
surprised me a bit. Thanks, dude!
Dumbass.
He gave me a rather dirty, rusty, cheap-looking cylindrical key. It wasn't even attached to a keychain. It's the key to the dorm. Takumi said he got it from Taiba. Huh? Why did he do that? He said he felt pretty bad about making you sleep outside last night. What a sincere and considerate person.
He really is. People like him make living in a place like this far easier.
Mom, you really...
Oh, the rice!
With an awkward smile on her face, Kaori-san went back to the kitchen. I'm sorry you had to see that. Don't worry, I'm just... FUCK! God damn it! Don't worry, I'm just a clueless outsider. I made a blatant lie. Everyone could tell that Kaori-san and Takumi-san would make a nice couple. Oh, I'm talking about Haru-chan too. Hey, stop picking a fight with the outsider. Yeah, Takumi, fuck, I'm gonna do that again. It's like, anytime someone says, Yakuza in conversation, I'll default to that pronunciation, even though I know it's pronounced Yakuza. It's fucked. It's weird.
It's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, Takumi is, the big beefy boy. Second biggest beefiest boy in the village. That the first most that's still
biggest,
alive.
First beefiest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he and Kaori get along pretty well. But I believe Kaori is a widow though, so
Yeah.
there's that baggage.
Hey, he's bothering you too, isn't he?
Not really.
Anyway, if you don't have anything to do with the feast, then just get out.
When are they going to talk about mushrooms? I mean, it's statistically more likely that they'll talk about mushrooms or being disgruntled than they will about Dragon-E and double dares, I guess. I don't know. I mean, given that about approximately a fifth of the cast is in grade school age, it's not entirely out of the question that someone's going to double dare someone. But like, imagine the fucking odds. Did you get this line already?
Yeah.
Stop it already.
Why?
Fusashi-san is a victim. Don't be so heartless.
What the hell? You're such a dummy.
Ugh, this is such a mess. Please, not in front of the child. They had to stop fighting about me. We had an innocent little girl here. Also, Chiami's info was confirmed to be true. Trying to escape seemed dangerous, and recommending it was heartless. Basically, getting out of here was difficult. That made me all the more grateful for the room. I've been so busy trying to understand what was going on in this place that I didn't even consider how to deal with myself. I'd have to thank Takumi-san.
Calm down, you two. Haru-chan, wanna play with Chiene?
Play what?
Prayer to Shinai.
Now? Seriously?
I wanna show Mako-chan how it's supposed to be done.
What?
Yeah, she just baas like a sheep. I don't know. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I think her little verbal tick is just making animal noises, and she's settled on sheep.
The game
It's
over.
fine, but-
Person's a sheep.
Thinking emoji.
It's fine, but wow, you really care about stuff like this, huh?
Yeah, kinda.
Something was about to begin. No longer the center of attention, I began drinking the hot water Kaori-san placed before me. Teacup had a strange symbol enameled at the bottom. It looked like a family crest. I believe, based on the info on the chart that we were looking at, this would be the monkey?
It does seem similar to the icon used there.
Yasunaga-kun, what's this mean? Oh, that's one of the Kami Fujioshi head family crests. She should just throw it away. His harsh tone made it pretty likely that it was the crest of the Higuchi family, the ones who banished them here. Haru-chan moved a chair and sat down in front of Chiemi.
Can I play the man's role?
Sure.
Let's go. 1, 2. Shinai's guardians are 1 snake, 2 monkey,
2 monkey,
3 crow, 4
4
spider.
spider.
All right, hang on. We're doing the thing again, I guess.
しんないさんのお守りは日がちふましらみがらすよぐも
I think
Yeah,
that's
actually
it.
understood most of that.
I think that's it, so I could probably turn it back off, but I'll leave it on for just a moment. They started playing an action rhyme, much like Ring Around the Rosie or London Bridge is Falling Down. Ah, yes, an
Rhyme!
action rhyme! A much better way of phrasing it than nursery rhyme.
I mean, presumably, it's a nursery rhyme that has like a action associated with it, like running around in circles, ringing around the rosy, or like
Yeah, or
hands
like
up
London
and down,
Bridge is
London
falling down.
Bridge or
Yeah.
something.
It's just a really funny thing to
It's
call
a
it.
very funny way to phrase it, yeah. Fully in sync, they clapped, slapped their knees, clapped again, joined hands, etc. All
Slap,
according
slap,
to the
slap.
rhythm.
Clap,
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 clap.
clap. Fuck, I hate that I knew exactly what you were going for. And there was no mistaking it. This was actually the song I'd heard yesterday morning. Oh, god damn it. I'll turn it back on. I'll just leave it on until we get out of this pink hellscape.
This is Peach, not
夕
Pink.
霧立てば宴の支度いついつ無事なもなれもて走る
They were doing it pretty quickly, so I couldn't see everything, but it was definitely complex. They even raised fingers and made fist bumps.
Hell
Also, I was
yeah.
pretty sure I had heard that part somewhere.
夕霧立てば宴の支度
What she said.
Oh.
あやしよみびとけがらえり
Suddenly, the song changed in tone. The movement switched up too. Haru-chan hit her face while Chiemi stood up a bit and grabbed her by the shoulders.
あやしよみびとなきにせん
Similar
Ah.
line, but the roles switched.
Gotta have a fucked up nursery rhyme.
ひとひにひとりきり立った
They returned to the same tone and movements as before, but then, at a slightly awkward point, the song suddenly ended. Then they quickly stood up and...
And turn the voices off.
Yay!
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 Yay! That one voice line from Wind Waker. You know the one.
It's been so long since I did this that I kind of panicked.
Apparently they were done.
See that, Mako-chan? This is how it's done.
Wow, you're so fast I couldn't see it all.
I only saw a flash of salmon. Or pink. Whatever.
All right, Haru-chan, teach it to Mako-chan.
What? Me? Teach me. Well, alright.
Yes, Kun, there's something I want to talk to you about.
Chiami's tone was serious. What is it? What is it?
Was it? Is it?
The line is 3 words. How did I fuck that up? What is it? Yasunaga-kun instantly understood that it was important, but he seemed to be mindful of me. If it's about the feast, I shouldn't be here, right? Sorry. Chiami gave me a meaningful look as I left. She'd probably tell me something the next time we met. I'm heading out then.
Very well. You take care now.
Kaori-san stuck her head out and said goodbye to me as I left the dining hall. I put together what I'd learned, the settlement's beliefs, circumstances, and the inhabitants' stances. This is a fucking banger.
No, it's the recap song.
Yeah. However, Chiami was really the only one I could directly get info from. I couldn't account for any biases she might have had. The other inhabitants, albeit to varying degrees, didn't trust me. I could probably have decent talks with Yasunaga-kun, but his situation seemed to be similar to Chiami's. I'd have liked to get info from the elders. Maybe my best option was to somehow join the feast myself? From what Chiami had told me, the feast was a really vile and dangerous tradition. And that didn't change even when you consider the tales and that there had already been lynchings because of this. Normally, something so brutal would have changed and become some harmless festival by now. How did such a tradition survive in the modern day, despite murder and lynchings being completely illegal? Was this place simply beyond the reach of the law or something? Or
Yes.
As I saw God.
or because you'd actually get cursed if you didn't do what the tales told you to? Oh, stupid. And again, I couldn't really write it off. My stance on gods and monsters was basically that. As long as they could be seen, I was willing to accept their existence. The belief that nothing was beyond the comprehension of modern science was narrow-minded at best. New technologies and methods could easily reveal things that were previously undetectable. This had happened many times throughout human history. The idea that there were strange animals, ghosts, or aliens that were simply beyond our current ability to perceive was entirely plausible. However, there were disappointing realities too. For example, the original story about something mysterious could have easily been a lie, trick, misunderstanding, or misinformation. Generally speaking, the mysteries of the world all turned out to be one of those. Science disproved things far more often than it confirmed them, which was pretty darn boring. Damn boring. Pretty fucking boring, sorry. Surely even Houdini, famous for exposing mediums and other frauds, wanted to believe in psychic phenomena. No, he didn't. He hated it. That's why he did that. He fucking hated psychic phenomena. He thought that,
You're
like,
Arthur Conan Doyle.
yeah.
Yeah.
He'd searched the worlds in hopes of meeting a real medium, but each found proved to be a fake in the end. Well, considering I'd actually seen something that shouldn't have existed, you could say that I was, in a way, more exciting situation than him. Though my life was in danger, so I couldn't really waste time trying to speculate what that thing was. Back to the matter at hand. For now, the most important thing was understanding and surviving the feast. To pull that off, I needed more info. I still hadn't heard how today's talk had ended. Based on the mood of the place, no one seemed to have died, at least. They died. Shocked, I turned around. Oh. Who was this? It was a girl I'd never seen before.
They died. Yes, they did. They all died. You'll die too, surely. Welcome to Fujiyoshi, you poor man.
The girl turned and ran, her skirt swaying behind her. Hold up, Mochi.
Whoa! How'd you know, Poop Man?
Who are you calling Poop Man? And, well, your clothes surprised me, sure, but you should work on your acting skills.
Hey, this ain't a costume or anything.
What? You're saying you wear that normally?
Yup. I'm super poor, so the school uniform was the only thing I could wear. But Taliban never stopped complaining about that. That's why I borrowed Haruchan's old clothes. They're cute, ain't they?
Well, they are, but you are a guy, right? If I didn't already, I'd have assumed he was. If I didn't already, I'd have assumed he was a girl. That you're missing an
missing
operative
words
word
there.
there.
There's a word
Had some
missing.
brain cells.
Yep, I got one. You can check when we're pissing together.
I didn't want to see it at all. Thank you. Are you uncomfortable with your gender or something?
What? No, I'm a guy.
Then why
No reason. Just the way I am.
the way you are?
I'm an eccentric. There's something wrong with my head, so it's hard for me to get along with normal people. But I also can't just do whatever I please, so I end up being a bit weird.
So this is simply your nature?
Yeah, speaking of nature, if it wasn't cold, I wouldn't mind going around naked.
So this was a guy with a unique sense of, well, everything. Unless he found something that really clicked, he'd have a hard time living anywhere, even in the city. You have my sympathies.
Hey, SPs was actually pretty easy to live in. You should move here, Poop Man.
What does that have to do with anything?
Living in the city's hard, ain't it?
Yeah, you know you have to survive.
Living in the city.
Nope, it's way more convenient than here.
Really? I thought you escaped when something bad happened.
Well, I can't deny that.
You're a weirdo too, right?
That one I can deny.
Wait, really? I thought we were birds of a feather. Right, old man?
Ah! Oh, there was a really weird old guy in the bushes.
I think Poop Man's a real weirdo. I know, right? That's what Poop Man is.
Stop calling me that! Please don't spread that name. I don't give a damn if you use Fusaishi or Haruaki. Just stop calling me that.
Hassan?
Did I look like a Middle Easterner? What? I was mildly bothered by the accent.
Hassan's a fairly common Middle Eastern.
Oh,
Middle Eastern
right.
name.
Oh, I was confused for a moment because I was like,
Yeah.
it was okay. No, I get it now.
Take the first syllable of his name and add the son honorific.
Yeah. I was mildly bothered by the accentuation too, but he was probably avoiding using nicknames that were similar to Haruchan's name. Well, whatever, that works.
Poop Man became Hassan!
I was never Poop Man to begin with.
Why not? You sleep in an outhouse.
You're close to the old man?
We're fellow crazies.
Well, the old man seemed to be enjoying it. I don't like this.
Join us, Hassan. When the mist's clear, we can go steal chickens from Kama Fujiyoshi.
Why would I do something like that? What are you, Kappas? Hell, why did he like me that much? Well, that might have been a good thing. He seemed to be a bit more unique than the other two students. By the way, why aren't you with the other students today?
Well, Haruchan was angry, so I felt it wasn't gonna be fun with her.
Why was she angry?
Haruchan likes Yasun.
Oh?
So, she doesn't like that Yasun seems happy about Chiene coming back.
I see. So, why was she mad at me?
Haruchan actually wants Yasun and Chiene to get together.
Yasunaga's like 17 at the absolute oldest. Jimmy's in college.
Yep.
Well, I sure didn't expect to hear something like that. So she's helping the target of her unrequited love get his sweetheart.
Yep. That's why you barging in and getting along with Chiene messed things up for her.
So basically, I accidentally entered a love triangle.
There's already a love quadrangle at minimum.
Yeah. Does Chieme-chan know any of this?
Pretty sure she does, but she doesn't do anything about it. He's got a snowball's chance in hell.
Man, this kid was harsh.
So yeah, good on you, Hassan. Chiene is yours.
Is she now? And wait, are you okay with this?
Why are you asking?
Well, I haven't been here for long, but from what I've seen, you're wild with most people, but kind of gallant around Haru-chan.
Well, you're probably right. She's a childhood friend and a bit of an airhead, so I do worry about her. That's all.
That's unexpected. You seem like the type to... excuse me. That's unexpected. You seem like the type to mess with such people.
I'd mess around with you to the very end. I owe a lot to Yasun, and Haru-chan is an unfortunate girl.
You know what? Asking too much at once isn't good, so I'll have you tell me more some other time.
I already said too much! Hassan, what kind of magic did you use on me?
He was the one who's gone blabbing on his own. By the way, you said that someone died. Did they? Well, I know the journalists did.
Yasumizu's people are still alive, but they're all as good as dead.
Why do you think that?
Who knows? I'm not good at reasons. But, well... When Takumini said he was the snake, I had a bad feeling come over me. Oh, it felt like I could hear the wolves laughing.
Wait, what did you just say?
I could hear the wolves laughing.
Before that.
When Takumini said he was the snake?
Takumi-san is the snake?
That's what he said.
I got some urgent business. Mochi, old man, see you both.
Huh?
The wolf is coming!
You knew? Shit. Didn't have the time nor the connections. Muno-san.
Oh, alright.
Huh?
Jumping straight here.
What? That was my line. Why was he farming at a time like this?
Why are you farming at a time like this?
Thank you for the key. Oh, don't mention it. But don't walk around by yourself. Everyone's on edge as it is. About that, do you know how many humans the wolves can kill per night? Chiemi went and told you about it, huh? I insisted on it. In fact, you had to have seen that coming when you sent her to meet me. The info I have is still limited, but I'm a bit worried. Sorry to bother you, but can you tell me more? Sorry won't cut it. It's a huge bother. I don't want to waste any time on this dumb shit. I have a farm to care for. I thought you and Chiemi would understand. But you're serious about this too? Well, he really didn't seem all that bothered by all this, but... 2 people already died. What of it? Huh? Listen, people die all the time, and I'm always stuck cleaning it up. What? What was he talking about? Did you see the aftermath of the landslide uphill? It's been like that ever since the Nosoto got to work on the place 8 years ago and it collapsed. They were too freaked out to even clean it up. I ended up digging out the workers' corpses and burying them.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was such a big deal. Then there's the idiots from the city coming here just to hang themselves or get eaten by wild beasts. Me and the old man always have to deal with the mess. It's not rare for Saranaga to bring us corpses either. I don't know if they're mountain fishers or something, but it's dangerous upstream, damn it. And yet no one cares. I pick them, I give them all nameless graves, and leave it at that. Beasts, corpses, You never know what you'll find in the mountains, kid.
Jeez.
But this time it was in the village. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Never heard of Asian black bears eating humans, so maybe we got a pack of actual wolves here. You're saying that was done by beasts? And you're saying that was done by humans? What of it? We just have to create a night patrol. Why the hell do we have to kill each other? This person was hard to read. There was no denying he had a good head on his shoulders. He was reasonable and skeptical about the unknown. On the other hand, there were some things he put even above rationality. Felt like something you could call Yasumizu's rules, or better yet, fellowship. He looked at the situation from the perspective of, I gotta protect Yasumizu. He did whatever he could within those constraints, but he was in denial about the existence of enemies originating from within Yasumizu. To him, this situation was just a common case of some outsiders died, so what? Or maybe that was what he really wanted to think. That made the situation very bad. But I, being an outsider, couldn't say that. That's true. Like you say, there's something wrong with anyone believing such a superstition. He looked displeased. What was I supposed to do? But I'm curious about what I asked first. Do the legends say that everyone dies the first night, or what? I need to know how to feel about this. Oh, that won't happen. Wolves can only kill one person per night. Really? But why? What does the legend have to say about it?
Game balance.
What did Bachan say again? No one can go against the laws of the mountain. Not even the Yomotsu Okami-sama. Yomotsu Okami? Wolves that have returned from Yomi, apparently. Huh? Weird. I felt like I've heard that term before. Still, it wasn't weird that the laws applied to the wolf. Excuse me. Still, wasn't it weird that the laws applied to the wolves too? They were on the Yomibito side, as in those opposing the mountain. And I was pretty sure the
supernatural things abide by rules. That's how they work.
Yeah, otherwise they'd just go fucking nuts and kill everyone. I was pretty sure the law of the mountain said that only one person could be killed per day. Lynching one during the day was the limit, and killing more than one per night was against the rules. Both would make you the target of the corruption. Didn't make much sense to me, but at least I found out that the wolves, too, could only kill one person per night. Sorry for bothering you with weird questions. I'll get out of your way. Oh, right. By the way, if you need an extra pair of hands, just ask. I won't meddle any further than I have to, but you're letting me stay here, so the least I can do is earn my keep. Yeah, sure. His last reply was half-hearted, but at least I got a bit of the rules I was missing. Thank God. Talking to myself is so fucking weird. Hang on.
Interesting that he's skeptical on this whole situation.
These loops are
or at least claiming
raging.
to be. Interesting to me that he's skeptical, but he's also claiming to be the snake. Like, if he woke up and saw this weird symbol near his bed, doesn't that mean that there's a guaranteed proof there's something going on here? But then he's otherwise denying the entire thing going on.
Maybe
Interesting, kind of.
Sorry.
Or he's lying. Just to say.
I missed all of what you were saying there. Sorry, I had my headphones off.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that he's seems skeptical about this whole ritual scenario, saying that it's just people killed by actual wolves, not anyone from the town doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also claiming to be the snakes. If he is telling the truth about that, and he woke up with this strange symbol there, isn't that evidence the legends are true, that this is actually happening?
It's pretty clear that he's in denial about something, but
Yeah.
To what end?
I'm just commenting on how that denial is going. It's there's a certain level of cognitive dissonance required.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to see how far you can push that until it pops. Or he dies horribly.
Yeah, probably. Especially because he revealed that he was the snake really early.
He is definitely a prime. I talked about this last time. He's a prime target this night.
Yeah, you don't reveal that early. That's basic game theory. Well, not basic, but if you anyway. When I came back to the dining hall, I found the students, Chiemi and Yoshitsugu-kun, Yasunaga's little brother. Mako had left.
Hey, it's Poop Man! I mean Hassan!
Poop Man?
What? The name's still got a chance to spread. That aside, I had to find out what happened at today's feast. Recalling what Mochi told me made this kind of hard. Sorry, but can I borrow Chiyomi-chan?
Wow, I sure am popular these days.
Why, you just can't take a hint, can you?
Haru-chan, let's just help Mom.
You say something too.
It's probably something complicated.
I'll be the one who breaks the plates. Haru-chan, you be the one who holds him back.
Huh? Hey, what's going on?
You're getting roped into chores, obviously.
Sorry about the commotion.
What did you tell Yasunaga-kun?
We talked about today's feast. Things aren't looking good.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that. Chikamochi-kun told me that Takumi-san revealed that he's the snake.
Mm-hmm, he did.
Are there any other snakes?
Others? No, there's only one snake.
The mountain gave 4 kinds of guardians. The snake could ask the mountain whether one of the participants was a wolf or not. The monkey was the only one of which there were 2. They had the power to know who the other monkey was. The crow could determine whether the person who was lynched the previous day was a wolf or not. And the spider could ask God to protect one of the other participants from the wolves' attacks. Honestly, if this so-called God really had that power, I'd complain to him that he should protect everyone. As far as I knew, anyone who didn't have a guardian was either a powerless human or a wolf. Humans could kill a person during the day, while the wolves could kill a person during the night. It was a battle for survival. The humans had to do everything to find and kill the wolves. If they couldn't find a single wolf during the feast, the whole event was completely meaningless. The wolves would simply crush the settlement. If you ignore the fact that it's murder, the fact that you didn't choose a wolf suspect today is pretty bad. It's a day wasted, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I told Yasukun.
Then there's the fact that the snake outed himself.
Mm-hmm. Pretty bad.
She understood it well. We couldn't expect the help of the police or getting a forensic investigation, not to mention we were up against supernatural monsters. As things were, the snake's power was the only way to find out who was a wolf or not. In other words, losing the snake would mean losing their most powerful weapon against the wolves.
But he should be fine for today. The spider will protect Takumi-chan.
Hold on, we also know the spider?
No. Yasukun suggests that whoever it is keep it a secret, so that the wolves won't find out.
Sharp.
Kanjo-ji-chan agreed, and we went with that.
Seems like the right move. By the way, earlier Takumi referred to me and the old man. That's Kanzo, not the old man who cried wolf. Kanzo being the other
man.
Yeah,
The old man is not crazy.
The proper elder of the village that Takumi basically is the right hand of, so to speak.
Yeah.
You can't trust the old man that cried wolf to do anything except scream in your face.
Cry wolf.
Yeah.
We probably should have done the same with the snake.
Oh.
They really should have. What role is Temmie in all of this? It was best to secretly...
Temmie is a Temmie.
Fuck! It was best to secretly gather info without revealing their guardians. Has the outhouse been checked for the mark of the spider? Either that's a joke or that's a genuine thing about asking if we're in the feast or not.
Yeah. Narratively, it is pretty likely Haruwaki has one of those guardians.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I don't remember him seeing anything when he woke up. And
no.
I'm sure he recognized
no,
it.
he didn't even sleep. Is the thing.
Right, he's just sitting there awake all night. It's like,
yeah, because he was fucking standing there pissing his pants the whole night.
Why would you piss your pants? We're an outhouse. Just use
Yeah.
it.
That's true. That's true. Especially for the snake. He should have kept quiet and used his power to find out as much as reasonably possible before revealing himself. I knew it was difficult to figure out right away, but the fact that the snake, the most important role, was the first to be outed was really bad. From my perspective, Takumi-san had been so focused on protecting Yasumizu himself that he'd made a terrible mistake. He appeared calm, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd realized this and was actually pretty shaken.
What do you think will happen?
She asked like she already knew the answer. The spider was told to protect Takumi-san. The wolves obviously heard that. They try to go for him, the spider will stop them, right? No idea how, though.
Yeah, and with that, they'd lose 1 day's worth of murders.
Chiyomi seemed to process this as a logic game, too. If I were a wolf, I'd ignore Takumi-san and go for someone else.
You think so too? Who do you think they'll go for?
I don't know. I have no idea what the wolves are prioritizing. If they prefer the blood of women and children, they'd probably go for the younger people.
Gary.
Don't worry, you're not the youngest girl here.
I'll kill you.
It's fine, you're still the prettiest.
I'll forgive you. Though that still sounds pretty bad. Who knows what they'll do before killing me?
I'm sure there were plenty of things they could conceive. Apparently, there was another layer to the worst possible scenario. If they're not killing based on their preferences, then they'll kill someone whose death would shake the villagers. That'd be someone influential or a player who's invaluable to the humans.
That'd be Kanzo-ji-chan or Yasukun.
That seemed likely. Yasunaga-kun was the only one who'd done something helpful for the villagers this time. He seemed to be the leader of the high schoolers and had a good head on his shoulders. But his ideas required Kanzo Makishimashi's approval, which made it pretty clear he was a real standout. Honestly, I'd expected him to take more initiative than he had, but the fact he considered the younger people's opinions showed real leadership skills. In any case, he wasn't someone the humans wanted to lose. Oh yeah. Did you decide who Takumi-san will investigate?
Yeah, it's Kiyanosuke-san.
Huh? What's with that choice?
What do you mean? He asked for it, and we wanted to prioritize those who were the least popular. It'd make them safer.
I wasn't so sure about that choice. Those who were confirmed as non-wolves would have much more freedom to act. At the very least, they wouldn't be suspected as wolves who were just trying to exploit the situation during the feast. That being the case, shouldn't they have opted to choose a potential leader to investigate? Well, I didn't really know if Kiyanosuke no Satoshi had the skills, but from what I could tell, he definitely lacked the influence to lead. He's kind of a loser. If they wanted to secure a reliable leader, they should have went for someone like Kanzo Makishimashi. Wait. If the snake's target is killed by the wolves, the snake's power will be wasted, right? The dead can be investigated by the crow, after all.
No, those killed at night are chosen by the wolves, so they're obviously human. Crow can only investigate those chosen and killed during the daily feast.
Oh, I see. Makes sense. Whatever the case, perhaps investigating Kiyanosuke wasn't that much of a mistake. Did that mean they were actually doing a decent job? Well, it'd be pretty bad if Kanzo was the one to go. Chiyomi looked gloomy. She and I probably felt that it wasn't a complete blunder, but she still had a bad feeling about it.
Snake, like, waiting to reveal until they have a bunch of information is also a risk in and of itself, though, because, like, if they get a bunch of investigations and then die before they can tell anybody about them, that's all lost.
Yeah, it's just information that no one ever learns.
Yeah. Unless you can, like, pass it on somehow, which is more reasonable in this than, like, in a video game where you have strict rules. You can, like, write it down on a piece of paper or something.
Yeah, or there's like when you're... Yeah.
There's no single correct course of action in these. It's a lot of what risks are you willing to take.
Exactly. It's extremely difficult to justify things like that. During the feast, everyone had to lock themselves somewhere all alone around every sunset. It was called sheltering. Well, I could understand it, considering the legends, but I'd still wondered why the students didn't go to school. It was a weekday.
They can't leave.
When I'd asked, they just told me, why would we leave when it's so dangerous? The idea that they couldn't leave when the mist was here was so popular it affected their daily lives. Also, the people at Kamifujiyoshi had to know that Yasumizu was covered in mist, right? Considering the school, there probably had few students to begin with. The non-presence of the 3 from Yasumizu would normally be a serious problem. I knew it was a settlement for the ostracized, but did they really neglect this place that badly? Looking at it from that angle, it was safe to assume that the local villages, Kamifujiyoshi included, actually concealed the feast of the Yomi Purge. I thought about that and similar things in room 203 of the student dorm, the place I was given. Chiyomi had given me some cup ramen and hot water. We chatted for a moment about being neighbors for a while, and then she returned to her room. Weird we could be so casual about this, considering there was a chance we wouldn't meet again tomorrow. After dinner, I took a bath. The gas boiler was pretty damn old, so learning how to use it took a while. Dude, same. Every time I'm in a new place, it takes fucking forever to learn how to use the shower. It's just like, okay, does this, okay, no, that's the cold water. Okay, how do I get it to come out of the shower faucet? Oh god, now I'm cold. Anyway, there were some working electrical outlets too, so I could charge my phone. I didn't have a wristwatch, so that was important. By the way, my room didn't have a kitchen. I was pretty sure the other rooms didn't either. From what I could tell, no one here actually cooked or ate at their own homes. They all relied on the dining hall to provide their meals. This settlement had not only a unique culture, but a way of life as well. I couldn't help but wonder how something like this began and survived into the modern era. It was an interesting subject to research, but for now I had to worry about the fact that my life was in danger. Anyway, what were my options now? I wasn't part of the feast, but walking around at night was probably dangerous regardless. After all, I had memories of getting killed doing exactly that. From a logical standpoint, that was probably just a dream, but it had a quality to it that made it hard to believe it was. I had to be careful until I was certain. Then again, I had a record of surviving by just not making any noise at night. Maybe I should have stayed awake and looked around? Also, Takumi-san had said that they were gonna have someone keep watch at night, didn't he? Was he gonna do it himself? Considering the snake's importance, he shouldn't do something so dangerous. Shit, they'd barely decided anything in the feast. I wasn't getting enough info either. I felt like I barely knew the basics. Talking during the feast meant giving info to the wolves, but if the humans kept too many things hidden, the wolves would end up knowing way more than them, and that was just as dangerous. Still, there was a limit to what I could do in my situation. If I kept being the messenger I was today, I could create a huge imbalance of info myself. Not to mention I could be deemed suspicious and lose the residents' trust. Then it would be resident not so nice anymore. A resident evil if you... Anyway. Shit. What was I supposed to do here? Was it best for me to just stay quiet and wait for the feast to end? That wasn't like me at all. There was a mail slot on the door. I opened it up and looked outside. Everything was still covered in mist, so I couldn't see much. I could only see the handrail and the branches going in the hallway. But maybe I could see some intruder if I kept staring? Not likely. After all, this was the room at the end of the second floor. Haru-chan's and Chiyomi's rooms were closer to the stairs, so I couldn't see anyone going to attack them. The only time I could see the monster come would be when it was coming for me. Maybe keeping watch like this was the most important thing if I wanted to stay alive, but I found it hard to put my own life on the priority list. For some reason, I felt like if I died, I'd just go back to the starting point. Yeah, better not think that. Anyway, I had to stay awake. Still had many things to worry and think about.
If you're doing a lookout and you see a werewolf coming, what do you expect to do?
Gun! I don't... What the fuck even... yeah. Like...
Did you bring silver bullets with you?
Yeah, like, what
Are these wolves even vulnerable in their wolf form? Do you have to kill them as humans?
Do we know? No one knows. Wed. Deadass, my eyes were just for a second. I was like, why the fuck does it say weed?
Dude.
It's because it doesn't. It's because it doesn't.
We're a month late and 6 days too early for that.
What? As I woke up and tried to move, my head rubbed against something tough and then smacked into the doorknob.
Okay, good. Poop man needed sleep.
I writhed in pain. What was going on? Did I fall asleep against the door? Was I more tired than I thought? I was glad I didn't die and all, but this was a failure in my eyes. Sleeping in an unnatural position made my whole body hurt. I wobbled over to my fully charged phone. It was 6 o'clock. That was early morning for me. I'd have loved to just go back to sleep, but I was too curious about the feast. After washing my face with hot water, putting on my shoes, I decided to take a peek through the mail slot. Oh. Ah! Outside, I saw Chiami standing there with a knife in hand, and Mushroom is still not back. Mushroom still got a BRB, so we better hurry. That's a vision or something. I reflexively stepped back and tripped and fell on my ass. What the hell was that? There was a woman standing before my room with a weapon. I'd only caught a glimpse, but that was enough to conclude that I was dealing with a scene straight out of a horror movie. What could have prompted this? Did she suspect I was a wolf? Or was she a wolf herself? She knocked on the door, making me squeal a bit. Oh, yeah, great. W, do you want to be Chiami for a second?
Sure.
Yeah.
Haraki-san, you awake?
Would she kill me if I replied?
Wake up. I need a hand checking on everyone. By the way, I'm armed, but it's just for self-defense.
Say that sooner, damn it!
Oh, so you are awake. Don't worry, I just put the weapon away.
Great.
Where?
I
Coat
hesitantly
pocket, I
peeked
guess.
Yeah. I hesitantly peeked through the mail slot and saw her hopping around, showing me her empty hands. After meeting up with Chiami, we went around the dorm and woke up the students. All of them were alright. While they got ready, we went to the Nosato mansion just because it was close. Yasumizu was still misty and unpleasantly silent. I walked carefully, just like yesterday morning. Couldn't write off the possibility that a werewolf would jump out of the mist and tear me apart. It'd be over for me. I was walking ahead, dragging Chiami by the hand, careful about where I was going. Something happened and I got eaten or something. Chiami could either fight back or run away.
Is someone there?
Oh, Nosato-san. It's Fusashi and Chiami-chan.
Where? Oh, there.
He peered through the mist and a gloomy frown appeared.
Hey there.
Looks like the mansion was safe.
Of course. It's old but well protected. I've been more to make it in, surely.
I see. Can we all take shelter inside?
Why should I let you? This is Yasumizu's problem, not mine.
I see. Good point. Then we'll just get moving and solve the problem, I guess.
Wait, it's dangerous. We need to be in groups.
Really, I was beginning to think this guy was best described as all bark, no bite. Though prideful and vain, he wasn't as smart as he claimed to be, as shown by his inability to take charge of the feast. Also, his fussy attitude was probably just him making up for his fear.
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared, you're scared!
Shut up.
It was entirely possible he was just putting on an air of, and that the mystery of Yasumizu, or rather Fujiyoshi, was actually scaring him. Anyway, we went downhill and met up with the students. Even a familiar road can be scary.
Yeah, mists sure are weird.
Dragoni, you're gonna be Mochi for now.
I can get naked and no one will get mad.
A lot of people will get mad, Mochi.
Stop that, you fool.
Haru Makishima was acting weird. Mochi was definitely expecting a retort from her. She didn't say anything, and her face was so pale you could tell through the mist. Hanging her head, she was lightly shaking. Everyone else could see it too, but no one else chose to address it. Questions would quickly become suspicions, after all. Perhaps she was a wolf and did something horrific last night. As we all thought similar things, she suddenly collapsed to the ground. Are you alright?
Don't touch me!
Her hoarse scream shocked everyone. Haru-chan?
Mii-chan, I just... Sorry, but right now,
Yeah, I can understand if you're on edge. Be careful about where you walk. We then slowed down. Haru-chan, not touching anyone's hands, was at the rear of the group. Oh, that's not good. That's very much not good. As we walked, trees and stones drifted in and out of visibility through the surrounding mist. Our vision was so limited it felt like the world around us was changing with every step we took. God, I'm yawning a lot. I haven't spoken this much today, so my brain doesn't have oxygen
Yeah.
flowing to it. Tunnel of trees, a path to the paddy field, a stone platform, a concrete stairway. We walked between realms every passing second. I was still wondering about Haru-chan. What was on her mind? Was she afraid? Or wary? After descending for a bit, we arrived at the plaza. God damn it! There's so many much characters! I see all of you are alright. Fuck, wait, no, I shouldn't be Kaori, because I'm gonna be Takumi. Fuck. Dubby, you're Takumi. Or not Takumi, fuck, Kaori! Ah, there's too many names!
Until Mush gets back, definitely will just alternate whatever characters show up.
Cool.
Because you got the most voices already, because you're the main character, close to the narration.
The most voice, singular.
Yeah.
We met 2 more people in front of the dining hall.
Are the elders sleeping in?
Ba-chan's still getting dressed. She's not feeling too great right now. There'll be less names. No! Let's check on those who aren't here yet. Come with me, Kyo.
Why are you ordering me?
Because we might need some manpower. Fusashi, you come too. This is the first time he'd ordered me to do something, but it wasn't a situation where I could be happy about him relying on me. It'll be no! I haven't been in a single one of the feasts. I haven't had anything to do with this shit. Yes, of course. He probably had a bad feeling. Namely that he wouldn't be able to rely on a certain someone ever again. As I passed by Kaori-san, I heard her whisper.
Mr. Naga, can you help?
With what, Mom?
Finding Yoshitsugu. He's missing.
Everyone probably had a bad feeling about this. 3 of us guys checked the houses. Yasunaga-kun, Chiemi, and Mochi walked around the settlement. We'd agreed to split up and start searching. The Misty Village was silent. I couldn't hear anyone chatting. I'd seen these buildings from the outside, but it was my first time actually walking in. The shabby buildings built using blackened planks were more or less buried in vegetation. Some were on the verge of collapse. And the way their frames jutted from the mist reminded me of the carcasses of giant beasts. I walked on a line between the grass, a footpath surely. I often heard something small jump in the grass. It was probably just some bugs or frogs, but it still made me flinch.
Rikako-san lives here, right? Rikako? I keep forgetting
Rikako.
Syllables wrong. Rikako.
Yeah, in that house.
Ah, shit. How must she live in a place like this?
If you don't know, there's no way we would. I guess it's the Miguruma's orders.
To my knowledge, she moved to Yasumizu of her own accord, and there's no need for her to be here in the first place.
Maybe she knew the mist was coming and came to cast a spell or something to keep it away. That sure didn't work, though.
Takumi Muro, I don't mind you being disrespectful of me, but you should choose your words when talking about her. She's a legitimate Kamufujiyoji family head.
Like I care. This is Yasumizu. She said it herself, didn't she? In the feast, we're all served on the same platter.
Rikiko-san! Rikiko-san, are you alright?
Apparently Takumi-san didn't like the Uematsu family, or the 4 head families in general. Now that I thought about it, though she wasn't as disliked as Kiyonosuke-shi, the villagers in general weren't fond of Rikako Uematsu. It seemed like a pretty obvious outcome, though. Yasumizu was the settlement for the ostracized. It was impossible for a member of one of the head families who openly spurned them to form a good relationship with the locals. Rikako-san emerged before too long. She was wearing her usual strange getup, and she didn't seem any different from how she looked yesterday.
Okay,
I
so
need to
how
check
many of
on
my
Mako.
characters did we miss?
3.
Damn it!
Yeah. Chiemi came to wake us up with a knife in her hand, which scared the fuck out of us. And then we met up with Mochi and the other high schoolers. And then we just met up with Takumi and we met up with Nosato first. Yeah, we met up with Kaori and
Yeah. Haru's acting weird. Everyone's accounted for except for Meiko, Yoshitsugu, and Kanzo right now.
Well, Taiba, it's we were told that Taiba's getting ready, but we don't know.
I'm counting that as accounted for.
Yeah. We moved on to the next house. It felt like Rikoko-san was urging me, so I woke the girl up. Meiko-chan, it's morning. Well, I couldn't imagine Rikoko-san raising her voice, while the other two probably didn't feel like they had to get involved with the girl. After a few calls, she finally came out, still half asleep.
Meiko, I'm glad you're alright.
Kiyo, take them to the dining hall.
Come with me, Yukiko-san. Watch your step.
Yes.
She was apparently trying to get my attention, so I turned around and said, yes?
I'm sorry.
That's not a good sign. Her sudden apology left me completely confused. She then departed alongside the other two, leaving me alone with Takumi-san. Are you sure we should go on without Kinosuke-san? He'd be useless anyway. I only brought him along in case it was the Uematsu's mock priestess that died. But now I know who got killed. It could still be the old wolf guy, right? Shut up! If Old Man Konzo was around, he'd have woken up earlier than anyone and searched the length of Yasumizu 3 times by now.
I forgot about the old wolf guy.
Forget about the old wolf.
Sorry. His house is over there. I followed him in silence. I couldn't think of anything to say. The fact the door was unlocked made it clear that something wasn't right. The moment I opened it, my nostrils were assaulted by a smell I'd experienced just yesterday. The reek of a fresh corpse. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Unlike Takumi-san, who was looking away and cursing, I did my best to burn the scene I witnessed into my memory. I felt like to avert my eyes would be disrespectful and chided myself for wanting to look away. His body was much more intact than Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san. That made it much easier to become painfully aware of the fact that this was a human, an intelligent life form who was with us yesterday like it was no big deal. There was one problem, though. Part of the body that used to be the head was completely destroyed. There was no part of the head left untouched. It was that thorough. It was obviously the result of relentless, heavy, blunt attacks. Everything above the neck was just a strange, flat mess of shattered skull fragments. White and red organic matter. Compared to it, everything else was largely unharmed. The old-looking clothing and the unexpectedly robust chest for someone his age were all the proof needed to know that this was the body of Konzo Makishima-shi. We'll clean it up. What else? Please wait a bit. What are you gonna do? Find out as much as I can. Since we had no idea when we could get out of here, protecting the scene of the crime for an official investigation meant we had to leave this body to rot here. And we just couldn't do that. And considering the horrible state it was in, the villagers probably wanted to take care of it their own way as soon as possible. Not much I could do to stop that. Thus, I did my duty as someone without such obligations. This corpse was completely unlike the ones from yesterday. While those two were destroyed completely, the damage on this one was focused on the head. The weapon clearly wasn't sharp. They'd used something blunt. The skin on his face was torn, but not sliced apart, and the skull was shattered. This was caused by repeated blunt attacks on the head. It wasn't my job to picture whether there was some profound grudge in this. The only clear thing here was that the wolves killed him using something blunt, not claws or fangs. And it was obviously done with dedicated intent, not accidentally. At the very least, the entity that made this corpse wasn't the same as the one that made the ones from yesterday. It made sense if you separated them and assumed that yesterday's was the corruption, and today's was the wolves. But the thing I'd seen when I was walking around at night that time had the appearance of a wolf, or rather, a werewolf. If the werewolves were the ones bringing the corruption, the tale all this was based on would make even less sense. If the corruption was Great Lord Shinai's, the mountain god's, punishment, it'd be weird for it to be delivered by the wolves. Holding back my nausea, I looked back at the corpse. Then I rolled back my sleeves and reached for the destroyed head. Hey, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I'll still have a look. Decapitation meant body doubles, mystery writing 101. If someone brought in and killed a person with a similar build to Kanzoshi's, then left him here, his death could easily be fake. Did Kanzo-san have a silver-capped tooth in his lower jaw? No, he didn't. His voice was strangely forced. I looked at him and realized he was kind of pale. I might have overdone it. Still, I couldn't be soft in the situation. He was proud that he didn't need any crowns or anything despite being over 60. Why? Did you find one? No. I only asked to prevent any misdirection. It's a healthy set of teeth. What the hell? The lower jaw was mostly intact, while the upper one was destroyed along with the rest of the head. Despite that, I saw a hint of the old man in the eyebrows and the dark hair with streaks of gray in them. It was pretty clear it was the one and only Kanzo Makishima-shi, so it was probably pointless to keep thinking about the way he was injured. My hands were all messy. I'd have to wash them later. The corpse aside, Kanzo-shi was lying on some thin bedding, and there was no sign of a struggle. He was either instantly killed by the first attack, or knocked out, laid here, and then killed. Still, it wasn't a corpse that was easy to make. The situation here was peculiar. One point I found curious was the fact that Kanzo-shi surely obeyed the shelter law and locked himself in. However, the lock on the door was still perfectly intact, so, logically speaking, Kanzo-shi had opened the door and let the culprit in. There was no sign of resistance, so it was probably done by someone he felt safe with. However, if this was a normal killing by the standards of the Feast of the Yomi Purge, then this was definitely made possible by something unnatural. Back to the situation at hand. The futon and everything around it were bloody, obviously, but there was another strange thing about the crime scene: the dampness. Some spots were really wet, and clearly not because of the mist. It was like the murderer purposely spread some water here. Were they trying to wash away the blood splatter on them? But there was no point in doing it in front of the body. The footprints were faded. Were they trying to cover their tracks? They were still pretty visible, though. It was more like they put bloody footprints on a futon and tatami that was already wet. The shape of the prints told me they weren't made by Western shoes, Japanese clogs, or wild beasts. They were just long ovals, reminiscent of those made by Zori sandals. There weren't many of them, though. Most of the blood was absorbed by the futon. But from what I had, I could tell there was only one type of footprint. Find out anything? Nothing special. Thought so. You don't specialize in this, do you? Sadly, no. All I knew was that the culprit was a very dangerous human. As I washed my hands, Takumi-san removed the sliding door and put Kanzo-san's remains on it. He covered his destroyed face with a nearby hand towel and prepared to carry it. You take the other side. Got it. We lifted it up and... yeah, this was definitely a job for 2 people. We went out into the mist. Are we throwing him into Saranaga? That's what Bachan would want. Because he'll be corrupted if we don't? Yeah. A voice devoid of life. Couldn't call out to him. Pushing him any further was dangerous. I could tell by the air about him. It's my fault. Why? 'Cause I messed up in the feast. That was entirely possible. This proved he was aware of it himself. I would have said that, but it felt wrong. I don't know much, but I think you were trying to do your best. But what's the point if I just mess up like this? Then you need to make up for it. I think you'll have to be the one who leads Yasumizu now. I can't. Well, I couldn't either. I was just an outsider, so I had no idea how to console him. Feeling powerless, we approached the dining hall. We'd pass by here and go straight for the graveyard. Tai Yamawaki-san had just come out too. She was in the midst of prayer. Kaori Oribe-san was standing next to her. She looked completely out of it. Rikaku Uematsu was covering Meiko's eyes and looking straight at me. Haru-chan, Kanzo-san's actual granddaughter, was watching her grandfather's corpse with an intense expression. It probably wasn't good to make any assumptions here, but I couldn't help it. I felt like her expression was full not of unbearable sorrow, but of anger, hatred, and disgust. I'd never seen them have a nice chat, so I wouldn't have been surprised if they didn't see eye to eye. But still, I'd have liked it if she made a different expression, if only for this moment. I could only think that because I was an outsider who didn't know shit. It wasn't good to make assumptions. Shit. Why was I in this position? Just how much could I even learn in my position? But as it turned out, I was still underestimating the situation.
Can't find Yoshi-kun anywhere.
We met Shiami on the way to the graveyard. She and the two high school guys were still searching, but the mist made it extremely difficult. We told her we'd join once we buried Kanzo-san and picked up our pace. The graveyard wasn't that far. Yasumizu wasn't very big. It only felt like it because of the mists or the load. I'd completely forgotten about him. He was alright too, huh? I had no idea why, but he was looking at us, clapping and laughing. That meant that Yoshitsugu Oribe-kun was the only one we hadn't seen yet. I was told there'd be only one. The wolves were supposed to kill only one person per night. Not saying a word, I hurried to finish the job. That led to us finding him early. Yoshitsugu-kun was on the shortest path to the cliff, in the grass of the graveyard. Though Takumi-san had only noticed him by chance. That was how deep in the grass he was. And how many pieces of him there were. Yay! God, you... No. It reeked of death, too. It was mixed with the smell of trampled grass and a strange beastly odor. Maybe not all the blood around here was his. Unlike Kanzo-san, he left clear proof of a tough battle and intense pain. Yoshi, you had guts. Takumi-san's voice was shaking.
We can see him.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
No, we're coping. Takumi-san's voice was shaking. He picked up a soccer ball-sized object. Half-eaten and basically a shadow of what it used to be. Clenched its teeth, even in death. Can I? Takumi-san gave it, Yoshitsugu-kun's head, to me. I put my finger in its mouth. I was curious about what was stuck in there. What I found was a clump of beastly fur. Literally fought tooth and nail, resisting until the very end. Resisting what? Obviously the being that brought the corruption. It didn't take long for the news of Yoshitsugu Oribe's death to spread across the village. I'd heard that the pain of losing one's child was beyond any description. Even so, Kaori Oribe-san broke down so badly it felt abnormal. The mild-mannered woman became a mad beast, We had to band up to keep her from running to where we found Yoshitsugu-kun's corpse. We'd already gathered it up and thrown it into the Saranaga after all. Takumi-san kept a tuft of the boy's bleached hair, which he gave to Kaori-san. She instantly put it in her mouth. Through her wailing and choking, she did her best to chew and swallow it. It was a wretched, gloomy, and miserable sight. Though, it might have been an act born of ultimate motherly love. Whatever the case, no matter the shape, it was too late to try and bring her child back into herself. Not to mention absurd and pointless. That was how it looked in my eyes. Let's begin the feast. We gotta do something about the one who killed the old man and Yoshi. His words got the attention of basically everyone present. But they didn't reach the sobbing mother and her older son, who was gently consoling her. Yoshitsugu-kun. Why did he have to go against the laws? His efforts in death had only worked to corner not just his mother, but everyone else here. It was useless. He'd gotten some weird fur for us? No one, not even me, had any doubts about what we were dealing with here. A situation where everyone was desperate, acted on their own accord, and didn't know how to use their lives, well, was basically the worst. And apparently this line of thinking I'd had would foreshadow the next turn of events.
Where'd Haruchan go?
Shit. Why was everyone in such a hurry to do the worst things possible? Chiime Serizawa, Chikamochi Kamoshida, and Takumi Muro and I went out to search for Harumi Makishima. Kaori-san showed no signs of calming down, so Yasunaga-kun stayed with her. Kiyunosuke refused to come, arguing that it could be bad if there wasn't enough manpower around the dining hall, and he wasn't wrong about that. It wasn't unlikely that some fur-covered murderer or Haruchan's kidnapper was still around. To prevent any surprise attacks... Excuse me. To prevent any surprise attacks or accidents, we split... Oh, fuck. Hiccups. Why now? Of all time...
Oh, that is terrible timing.
Deep breaths.
I need to take a break for a minute anyway, because I just gotta run to the bathroom, so... we'll take a quick break at this suspenseful note. Let's split up, gang. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this about Alex Yeek on the scene right now, Len? This is some bullshit. Slander.
Yeah,
even.
it's
Alright, welcome back. Alright, I have returned. I have got myself a brownie to cope with the death of 2 people.
Oh boy.
To prevent any surprise attacks or accidents, we split into pairs. We were given a hoe and a sickle for self-defense.
Careful, you two.
Shout if something happens. Loud enough so we can hear you, but low enough that others can't. Alright, let's go, Moji.
Time to do work, Hassan.
The skirt would have made this search harder for him, so he'd changed into his school uniform. It wasn't cut out for the job either, but he had no other clothes. At least it was better than a one-piece dress. He seemed to enjoy wearing girls' clothing, so changing into the uniform was probably his way of showing he was serious about this. He kept his easygoing tone of voice, but I felt there was gravity in his eyes too. He might have been pretty shaken.
Haru-chan!
Haru-chan! We walked around Yasumizu shouting until our throats became dry. It reminds me I should drink some more fucking water. I've only been monologuing for 2 hours. We checked every bush, all the patches of tall grass, and behind every tree. We even searched the water around the paddy fields, but didn't feel like we were any closer to finding her. What do you think happened to her?
I don't know. Maybe she's shocked by your granddad's death.
No, before that. She'd been acting weird since this morning.
Was she?
Is she really fastidious or something? Fastidious?
hideous.
Fastidious. I know the word, but I haven't actually had to say it out loud until now. Really fastidious or something?
That's what?
A clean freak, hates anything dirty. I think I saw hints of that ever since.
So this is why they call it the Skeleton Dome.
They don't call it that, actually. Although it's about as misty as the Skeleton Dome, honestly. The Skeleton Dome... Well, no, that was ash. Whatever. They don't call it that, though. They call it, Yasumizu. I had to think for a moment. There's so many multisyllabic names bouncing around in my head during these streams that it's really hard to keep them all straight.
Oh. I'd say she's just the greatest scaredy cat here.
Scaredy cat, huh?
She was always really afraid of all the corruption talk. Maybe she's just scared of getting corrupted.
Yasumizu translates to skeleton dome. I don't think that's correct, but I don't know enough about skeleton domes to counter that. I see.
Mizu means water.
Fear based on superstition. That made sense, but why had it suddenly gotten worse? What happened last night?
That's why I don't think Haru-chan could kill anyone if she was a wolf.
Is that what you think?
I don't know if she is one or not, but I really don't think she could if she was.
How prudent. That's not like you.
Well, we're not talking about me here.
I don't want to try and get a read on you. I just want to hear your ideas on what's going on with Haru-chan right now.
I have no idea who or what you're confused about. But to me, Haru-chan is as important as Yasun, if not more. I don't really care about anyone else. So we should just find her.
Good point. No matter how hard we searched, we saw no sign of her. She could have been hiding somewhere, or maybe she'd collapsed, but I was beginning to entertain another idea. What if she ran away from Yasumizu? I asked, knowing everyone would deny the idea.
That'd be hard to believe.
When the mist comes, Yasumizu is connected to Yomi. Bachan's words. So anyone trying to escape would just end up there. Wow, that's rough. Leave town, go directly to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You don't even die first. You just go right there. That's rough.
Not to mention, those mountains are dangerous.
If you leave town, you go to hell before you die.
All that considered, if there was something that'd drive her to escape from the village, what could it be? Everyone fell silent. They couldn't even imagine it. It was like their brains had stopped working. If she'd actually wandered out into danger, then we'd wasted too much time searching for her in the village. I had to hurry, so I didn't hesitate to use some big assumptions that bordered on chicanery. What if she can no longer trust the village or the people here? What do you mean? She might have seen something at night or early morning or come to some sort of realization. Like, for example, what if she found out that someone she knows well is a wolf who killed people like it was no big deal? Everyone gasped. She's young, so she's still pretty unstable. And since Yasumizu is so small, it wouldn't be strange if she felt like she lost her place here if someone betrayed her. The girl seems pretty emotional, so it makes sense that she'd jump straight to running away, right?
You make a solid argument.
But then what do we do? Sorry, I thought Chiemi was going to say something else, so I took a bite of brownie.
Yeah.
But then what do we do? Give up? That was the thought of someone from Yasumizu.
I'll go look for her. I'm not afraid of the corruption.
And that was the thought of someone from Yasumizu who had a few screws loose. Calm waters in English? That makes sense. Kami Fujiyoshi is the name of the mountain, and I'm pretty sure that just means, like, the Wolf God's mountain. Or no, Okami would be in there if it was a wolf thing. So, but it's something God's mountain. Anyway, I'm an outsider. I'm not exactly averse to leaving anyways, so I'll look for her too.
I said I'd stop you, didn't I?
Don't worry, I'll head back the moment it gets dangerous. She definitely won't head in Saranaga's direction, so I'll focus on the path to school. Also, adults shouldn't turn their backs on children, right?
Hatsan! I can't argue against that.
Of course, it's possible that she's still in Yasumizu, so you two keep on searching for her here. Leave it to me.
Run away if it gets dangerous. Hassan, about what you just said.
What do you mean?
You know, the thing about Haru-chan losing trust in everyone as a result of something she saw?
What about it?
That didn't actually happen, did it?
Who knows? I was just raising the possibility. It's likely, though, isn't it?
So what, you think she saw me or Yasun walking around with a mouthful of huge fangs?
That's a possibility, too.
Not sure I buy that.
Is that just your intuition talking?
Yep, it is. Speaking of which, I also feel like this Feast of the Yomi Purge is designed to keep the wolves from being outed easy.
You can't see them at night because you can't walk outside. You can't stay gathered in one place and watch each other. You can't call the police, so there can't be any investigations. And since everything's covered in mist, things can happen without anyone realizing. And that's why you can't get that sort of solid proof. How could the players send people to be hanged without the slightest bit of material evidence? If you ignored the weird guardian powers, it was all quibbles, agitation, sophistry? Sophistry? I don't know that word.
That was history.
Sophistry, emotional arguments, connections, popularity? Basically, the power of communication.
I don't really get why, but yeah, I think it's designed that way on purpose.
Nothing was certain. They were put in a dangerous argument, and with their only weapon being their eloquence. It was a feast of doubting, hurting, and eventually killing one another. If there was such malice behind this, then Shikamochi Kamoshida had a point. Are you a detective or something?
Huh? No, that'd be Yasun. He might know more than he lets on.
I'd have to talk to him then. We arrived at the mountain pass separating Yasumizu from the rest of the world. Large stones at the sides were like torii without a top. They might have had religious significance.
this again.
There's no rule against stepping beyond here, right?
Nope. Only that you can't run away from the feast.
We were going out to find Haru-chan, so we were good. Ignoring the fact that Haru-chan was breaking that law, we passed between the stones. But we soon had to stop. The path was blocked by a landslide. According to Mochi, despite being pretty rocky, the ground in this area was strangely fragile, so landslides weren't that uncommon. There had been some pretty bad rain 3 nights ago, hadn't there? If that was related to the mist's appearance, it wasn't unlikely that we'd get both the mist and this landslide at the same time. I don't know, Mochi kind of has more cat boy energy with his pose.
Hmm.
You know, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Despite that, this felt just a bit too convenient. I had to consider the possibility that the people in the settlement above blocked the road to keep the Yomibito from getting through.
Hassan.
There was something way more important. We found footprints in the still damp mud. It was proof that she'd passed through here. They disappeared into a small cliff that only reached up to my shoulders. She had to have climbed up and disappeared into the forest.
Let's hurry.
Yeah. The term virgin forest was used to describe forests that were still untouched by mankind, letting nature have complete control over it. Many of the cedars here looked imported, so that term probably didn't apply to this one. However, it wasn't tended to whatsoever, so the words natural or undeveloped definitely worked. There were many fern saplings on the surface, a canopy of leaves above, and a thick mist all around. It certainly didn't feel like a place humans were welcome. For better or worse, the new ferns seemed slightly trampled, indicating someone had passed through recently.
Over here.
Be careful, she got lost on this road after all.
Haru-chan.
Should you really be shouting like that?
It's one of the basics of living in the mountains. The beasts run away if you scream.
Oh yeah, I'd almost forgotten about the very real threat of wild animals. I realized I'd lost myself in the mood and became kind of embarrassed. Haru-chan!
Say something!
Shouting over and over, we kept moving forward. She'd tried to follow the path, but all the cliffs and boulders in the way made her stray from it. 10 minutes later, we'd lost all sense of direction. Yeah, this place really was dangerous. Could we really find her? And even if we did, wouldn't it be too late? I was reminded of Yoshitsugu Oibe and his cruel fate. Were we about to lose yet another life? As my thoughts turned to that very real possibility. I heard some weak weeping.
Haru-chan!
Mochi, stay away.
Are you alright?
Please, don't come after me.
I had a bad feeling about this. Something really bad might have happened to her.
Wait up!
Hey! Chikamochi went after the voice with no hesitation. His body was quickly buried under all the plants and mist.
Give me a hand, Hassan!
His lack of hesitation felt dangerous in some way. Was I just imagining it? Anyway, I went after him and quickly caught up.
It hurts. It hurts.
Haru Makishima was buried under all the greenery.
It's her leg.
Stop. Ow.
I walked up and, man, this was pretty bad. Her leg was all covered in blood. Her shoe and foot were pierced by a sapling that was broken right at the bottom. She stepped on this? Can we break it off?
Nope. We gotta pull it out.
That'll open the wound.
There's some lawn marsh pennywort and chameleon plants here. Let's close it with them.
You can do that?
Nosato is the family that made medicine.
First I'd heard of that, but I had no choice but to believe him. She resisted verbally, but she was too tired and weakened to do it physically. I picked her up, doing my best to ignore her wailing because of the pain, and pulled her away from the branch. Chikamochi quickly took care of her wound and used a handkerchief to stop the bleeding.
Let's go back. Can you carry her?
Of course. You sure you don't want to do it, though?
Who knows? I just don't have the build for it.
I thought of saying that Haru-chan would have preferred him, but she was barely conscious thanks to the pain. We didn't have time to waste on sentimentality. Lead the way. One lost person is enough for one day.
Going back is easy, but man, it really does look like getting out is impossible.
Agreed. Haru-chan! I'm so glad you're all right.
She isn't. Takamine, now call Taiba. We've got a wound to patch.
Got it. Our return caused quite a commotion, and by the time things had begun to calm down, it was way past noon. Haru Makishima's escape attempt had distracted everyone, but none of the problems were actually solved. Kanzo Makishima was killed by the wolves, while Yoshitsugu Oribe was taken by the corruption. Yoshitsugu-kun's death was especially problematic. Each meaningless death was yet another obstacle against resolving the feast. Even if they picked and hung someone during the day, it wouldn't guarantee that there'd be one less wolf. It was way more likely that they'd get rid of an innocent. Even worse, the wolves in the group would most likely try to leverage the hangings in their favor. They'd claim to be innocent while casting doubt and blame on the other survivors. To win, the humans needed to do their best to see through such trickery and identify the wolves, possibly even making them confess. That was how I saw it anyway, and I was the one with the least info here. With that in mind, all humans who died by breaking the rules were actually doing the wolves a favor. If she'd actually disappeared, I'd have said the same about Haru Makishima, assuming she was human anyway. Perhaps someone encouraged them to break the rules? If that was the case, the wolves were ruthless, knew the rules well, and were steadily advancing towards a complete victory where all humans lay dead. That'd be someone influential, or a player who's invaluable to the humans.
That'd be Kanzoji-chan, or Yasukun.
And just as we'd feared yesterday, the wolves had silenced one of the most important people in the feast. It was hard to believe they'd chosen him just because they were scum or because they didn't like him. The situation was really bad. Another thing to note was that Yoshitsugu Oribe's death greatly affected Kaori-san, who was responsible for everyone's meals. That was a major problem.
Work, everyone. Here's some...
When she tried to give us tea once we returned from the search, her face was pale and she was shaking like she was having a seizure.
Someone else make tea. Jeez.
Yeah, no, she's in mourning. What the fuck? Despite her attempt to carry on as normal, her composure was in pieces. It was so painful I could barely watch. Takumi-san should have been supporting her, but he was just gloomily hanging his head. In the end, Chiemi had to lead Kaori-san back to her room. Oh, God, excuse me. Chiemi had to lead Kaori-san back to her room and stay at her side. I could only hope that was enough to calm her down. However, it was nearly time to do the inevitable.
I recall you saying we should start today's feast. Now is as good a time as any, don't you think?
Kiyunosuke addressed the downhearted people gathered in the dining hall. Does it look to you like anyone's up for it?
The day will end at this rate. The wolves are clearly intent on killing us all. Can we really waste time waiting in a situation like this? It'd work in their favor. We have to pick someone to hang, no matter what. Don't you agree, Muro?
All right. Yasunaga, try talking to everyone upstairs. That was where Tai-san looked after Haru-chan, and Chiemi looked after Kaori-san.
Oh, I'll go.
You don't have to, Mochi.
Just let me.
Chikamochi winked at me for some reason.
It might take a while.
Yeah. Take your time. Everyone has to be there, after all.
I will go prepare.
Please do.
Oh, wait.
Now is my chance. Yasunaga-kun, can we talk? God fucking damn it! Ah!
Welcome to the Clueless Show!
About what?
Characters!
Hey, more characters than I do at this point.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry about your brother. Thank you. That makes it a bit better. For him and I. That's a very mature way to talk about it. Maybe I should have sounded more my age then. This boy was already pretty mature. You didn't get along with him? That's not it. We didn't always see eye to eye, especially recently, but he was a really good guy. I think so too. It seemed like, deep down, the tough guy routine was really just an act. Did he get along with your mother? He did. Despite all he said, he really loved her, and she probably loved him more than me. Oh, that's not what I was asking. I'm sorry. All human relations were complicated. Prying too deeply wasn't a good idea. I'm sorry. What did you want to know? A few things, mostly about the legend. Tai-san is the better person for that. I need the opinion of someone more rational. First question. Why do you think the wolves kill the humans? Because they're angry at humans for tricking and killing them. Let me rephrase that. Why do the people given the role of the wolf suddenly become able to kill their friends and family with no remorse? Huh? Are you suspicious of Haruchan and I? Oh, no, sorry, that's not it.
Wasn't the idea that the wolves replaced people?
Maybe.
Not as people taking on the role of wolves?
I
I
want
thought
you
that
to
was
look.
mentioned in the first stream.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I
right.
think that's the implication, but I believe Haruaki is working at it from the perspective of someone got assigned the role like they got with the Guardian.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I want you to take a look at this from a general perspective. Say you've been told that you're a wolf. Could you just accept it and start killing people? No way. Exactly. No way you could. Of course, there are those who could, but most couldn't, either out of fear or guilt. Mochi is a good example. The people here are afraid of certain things, but they do have lines drawn in the sand. If the lives of those they care about are on the line, they won't hesitate to face the corruption and the wolves. That's only because Mochi is special. He's a genius. Genius? Yes, he can easily make predictions and decisions normal people can't, and he'll readily throw away anyone or anything he doesn't care about. Everyone else thinks he's just weird, but I think he's a genius. I see. I think I agree with you there. But anyway, what I'm saying is that you people aren't the types to magically become murderers just because of some corruption. Of course, there'd be people who'd do it because the corruption would come for them if they didn't, but even they wouldn't do it without hesitation. But the wolves we're dealing with aren't hesitating at all. I don't know where you're going with this, but I think it depends on the personality of whoever the wolf is. It'd be easy for people who never had any aversion to killing. But there are two wolves, right? Yeah, seems that way. I see. Let me ask you this then. Does Yasumizu have more than one person that is capable of murder? One psycho in a group of people I could see, but two seems pretty unlikely. I think a better assumption is that there's some way to turn even an ordinary person into a ruthless killer.
I think
If that
you
isn't-
underestimate what people will go to when their lives are at risk if they fear the corruption that much.
Yeah. If that isn't true, the lack of an infighting doesn't make sense under the current circumstances. When you put it like that... This is just something I heard from a teacher at school, but you could do it by giving them something to fight for, couldn't you? Basically, you need to make them think that they're doing the right thing. That the wolves are doing the right thing. I see. That's an interesting way to look at it. It's how countries convince their people to go to war. Yes, that's what the lesson was about, but I think that your perspective is a bit flawed. What do you mean? For example, most of the girls in this settlement are timid and prefer to leave the big decisions to the men. Even Haru-chan's like that. I don't know how I feel about that line, but whatever.
Mm.
So if the
It's
wolves...
not exactly
I mean-
like that, at least.
No.
Yeah.
But still, ew.
Yeah, I guess Tai-san or Taiba maybe just from the perspective of like she might be more traditional, but like Haru, I kind of get the vibe that she might like she might be too intimidated to make those big decisions, but like at the same time, that's a very broad stroke.
I think Mako should be in charge.
Mako should be in charge, yes. So, if the wolves are a man and a woman, it's entirely possible that the man's taking the lead and doing the killing, while the woman is just following along. Also, for all we know, the wolves could be arguing all the time, and they just didn't happen to hesitate in killing this one time. Yeah, good point. But I do think that there's some secret to why this feast lasted so long. Traditions like these usually die out.
It's supernatural.
It makes me think that there must be a way to ensure the killings continue. Your idea is certainly interesting. I don't think you should call it interesting. Not in a situation like this. Oh, sorry about that. That was insincere of me. Let me ask you one more thing then. Oh, and one more thing. Go ahead. I was working under the assumption that nothing particularly strange is happening here. But what about you? Do you think there's something mysterious going on? I don't want to believe it, but I think there is. Why's that? Why's that? Did you see a god or monsters or something? No, it's hard to put into words, but the fact that the mist appeared when we had a whole 4 outsiders here made it feel like there was a higher power at work. No matter how I look at it, I don't think mist like this could have been produced by human hands. Not to mention that it's strange how the wolves can enter sheltered houses and kill the people there. There's also the fact that if one of us killed someone, you'd see a change in their behavior, or some evidence would be left behind. We can't explain those things, so yes, I do think there's something mysterious going on. Oh, I see. Alright. Sorry for asking such a weird question. You were saying something, Dragoni?
The skepticism seems... You saw a werewolf.
Yeah,
Yoshi's teeth were torn apart. Yoshi had fur in his teeth.
Yeah.
Where's the skepticism coming from all of a sudden?
By the way, who do you think are the wolves? Haruaki Fusaishi-san. He cut me off with a stern voice. Sorry, but that is something we talk about in the feast. You don't have the right to ask that. Oh, my bad. Listen, we'll have to hold the feast to decide which one of us we should sacrifice today. It's important to propose who we think is suspicious, but it's also very dangerous. Something we said outside of the feast could be used against us and become a fatal mistake. The fact that you asked me that makes me feel like someone's maliciously using you against me. Please stop. Good point. I'm sorry, really. Oh, but... Now, I won't blindly believe that you're an ill omen, but I won't stop suspecting that you're involved somehow. If I ever found out that you had something to do with Yoshitsuku's death, You'll what? He glared at me. I'll have to avenge my little brother. I see. Of course you would. I'll just head to the cage and do my best to be as unsuspicious as possible. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Why? Today's feast might drag on until evening. It might be too late by then. I'll cry really hard. You should go to your room in the dorm and ask someone outside to block the door handle with a stick. I see. Good idea. This boy was really smart. If Takumi Moroshi was a site foreman type, he was the manager type. I could see a talent for using people. Can I ask something too? Of course. Do you like Genie? Well...
Oh, time, dude.
From a political standpoint, I should say no, but yeah, she's likable.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
Sure, Bite
This
Crash.
is where this conversation's going now.
I see. Well, she seems pretty available, so she'd probably date me if I or anyone else asked. Oh, and are you being considerate of me? I had a feeling that Mochi told you something weird. It's not like that. What I felt for her is a thing of the past. She was the only older girl around these parts, so I was attracted to her, that's all. This place was gloomy and serious, and she was the only free-spirited person here. She's as amazing as Mochi. You're saying she was a rascal? Yes. So much so that she almost killed someone. What?
Okay.
Hold on. He's running for Senate. He can't be seen dating college girls. Well, it was an accident, though it's strange you think she's available. Chiene is actually pretty shy. Is she now? Or maybe she just changed a lot during her 3 years of college. So yeah, I've already gotten over her. I feel you're the one being weirdly considerate. That's not healthy, you know? It's all good if you like her. This is hardly the time or place for that. Good point. That was it, huh? I mean, on one hand, I get it from the standpoint of, like, is he gonna get another chance to say anything? But on the other hand, it's not really the time. Whatever. Anyway.
People are dying!
Eventually, everyone gathered and went to the hall. Just as I was told, I asked for them to lock me in my room. After getting everyone, including Takumi-san and Tai-san, to understand, Yasunaga-kun, Shiemi, and I went to the dorm. Chiene, you think you can jump, or he can jump from the window to the branches? I thought whatever.
No way. Even if he made it down, he couldn't get back.
The two verified how secure a place this was to lock me up in. If they were the wolves, it'd be impossible to outwit them. Humans stood no chance.
Anyway, we're locking you in. We'll come open it up if we have the time, but you might end up staying like this until morning.
Alright. Fine by me. Just pulls out his phone and starts playing like Candy Crush.
Velocro opens up.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard, but I hope you do well. This game came out in like 2015. What was the top mobile game of 2015?
Genshin Impact, I don't know.
It's gonna be hard, but I hope you do. I hope you do well.
Thanks. Sorry you're caught up in the problems of such a crappy village.
I'm more worried about you.
Wow, isn't that nice? I'll do my best.
All done? We're locking you in then.
Clash Clans.
Okay. Yeah, you be careful too, Yasunaga-kun. You're now your mother's only child. Yes, that's true. And so the door was closed. I could hear them set up the stick. So far, the only ones I'd talked to face-to-face were Chiemi, Takumi-san, Mochi, and Yasunaga-kun. Just 4. The ones I hadn't talked to were Tai Yamawaki, Rikako Uematsu, Meiko, Kaori Uribe, Haru Makishima, Kiyonosuke Nosuto, the old wolf guy, a whole 7. I had no idea if there was significance in that, but I wanted to know what kind of people they all were. Neko Atsume. That's probably more likely given that it's in Japan, but 4 people had already died, and if you ignored me, there were 11 left. Once the snake revealed what Kiyonosuke Shiyu was, and he and the snake, Takumi-san, would be the only ones with confirmed roles. The other 9 would be suspects. When one was hanged, there'd be 8. And when one died in the night, there'd be 7, which was still quite a lot. They had to hurry before it was too late. The humans had to act now.
Hello.
Whoa, what? Supposedly fixed door slightly opened up. It was Chiemi.
I forgot, but I might not get to give you your dinner, so have this at least.
She threw me a yellow food box, the kind you could find in any convenience store. Thanks.
Lunchables.
Seriously. Thanks for the Lunchables. This was before the lead poisoning incidents.
Don't mind it.
Oh, by the way,
Oh, what?
tell the monkeys to reveal themselves.
Why?
Think about it. You'll understand. And you know you have to do something before it's too late. Gina, what are you doing? There's no time. Go. Oh, hey, Duck. How's it going?
Hey.
Quack.
We're about to get to the feast. People have died. Let's get the levity out of the way first. She got some feastables. No!
Oh no!
That's to be even more lead poisoning.
Thanks for the raid, Duck. I hope you enjoyed your Pokemon stream. I saw you were doing some shiny hunting. I found the raid button. Nice. There's no time. Go.
Yeah, okay.
She closed the door and put the stick back. All right, what next? Hopefully I get a break. But alas, my struggle never ends. Naruto-chan, is your wound all right?
It's fine.
I know it's not a good time to ask, but what happened?
It was pretty bad, I'll tell you that much.
I'm tired. Yeah, streaming for 3 hours will do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking, we're getting close to 3 hours
Speaking of.
ourselves.
Whatever, let's just start.
God, Takumi's gonna be leading this one too. Fuck! Ugh.
Everyone had a drink. Let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge.
Let's get to it. Takumi, did the snake's power work last night? Alright, catch you later, Duck. Sleep well.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it did.
Well, tell us.
Kyo is a human.
Of course. I'm no wolf. That means Muro and I are no longer suspects, right?
It does.
Let's look at what we have to decide today. If we continue based on the late Kanzo Makishimashi's decisions,
Hold on, why are you taking the lead?
What was that about him being a pussy?
I don't mind it if the eldest, Yamakawi-san, wants to take over.
Yamawaki, but close.
Yamawaki, damn it.
I'm compelled to rush through names too, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no good at that.
In that case, it's only natural that myself and Muro, adults confirmed to be human, should be the ones to lead.
This is a very reasonable thing, but when his sprite looks like that, the
Yeah.
red herring scent
Yes.
is really wafting really intensely.
Takumi he's annoying. You lead.
No. Q, keep going.
He's still shocked from the elder's death. No need to force him. But I will do everything I can in his place. Muro, you console Madame Oribe.
Yeah, that's also not something that can be overlooked.
My boy. He...
Kaori-san.
Here's my proposal. Let's do whatever we can to choose and hang someone today.
Hold on, that's too reckless.
But it's necessary. If we don't, the wolves will eventually kill the last human.
Exactly. We'll have to harden our hearts if we want to survive the feast. Am I wrong, Yamawaki-san?
You're right. The Yomipito must be hung.
1 soul per day, now to bind.
What if we make a mistake? Even if we kept it secret, we'd have to live with the knowledge of having killed someone.
It's true that it would be unpleasant, but such deaths wouldn't be in vain.
Hell, if you kill the wrong person, the death would be pointless. That's obvious.
Watch your words when talking to your superiors. Listen, for now, you only have 2 surefire ways to get rid of suspects. Surely you understand, Yasunaga-kun.
Yes. The snake's power.
Or killing someone and lowering the total number, huh? I know that, but do you really think we can all agree on someone?
We can't do that. Do you think when it gets killed, cares which side wins?
That's why we need to reach a consensus here.
we need to agree that if the others survive, I don't mind dying.
Huh?
Is that seriously all we have?
Yes, that's all we have. The laws of the mountain remain merciless.
You got it, Len. Get out of here. Die! No.
What the hell? We're just getting hanged for someone else's sake.
Oh, that would make you a wolf, wouldn't it?
Why?
You have no intention to put your life on the line for Yasumizu, and that makes you Yasumizu's enemy. Is that what you're saying?
Am I wrong? People of Yasumizu, this is a test of your unity.
There was a badger in the song, but they're not in this equation, so is there a badger? We don't know.
There was a mushroom in the song too. Oh wait, wrong song.
God damn it.
You sure seem to be enjoying yourself.
I'm only giving advice as someone from Kamafushi Yoji, and as one whose suspicions were lifted. Be silent.
I can put an extra J in there somewhere.
Kinosuke no Sato-san, you were quiet about this until the snake looked into you, right?
What are you getting at?
You already knew we had to be unified and accept death if it was necessary, didn't you? But you also knew that saying that would have made the snake's power way more popular, so you stayed quiet.
That's just an assumption.
You're right, though. Kami Fujiyoshi guy who's no longer a suspect is telling us to die and be okay with it. See if we can just accept that.
Takamine, you say something too.
But he's right.
Akumini?
I agree with him as well. Suspect me, hang me. But of your decision, I will accept it. Nah, we can go, San. As I said before, in this situation, Kamafujiyoshi and Yasumizu are irrelevant. Not to mention, I know it might be impudent of me, but I believe myself to be part of Yasumizu.
Ooh, look at that, a respectable attitude. Something a certain someone here doesn't have.
However, I do think that expecting that of this girl would be a bit much.
You're all scary.
Yeah, I'll say.
But we have no choice. There can be no exceptions. And if you decide to hang her, I shall go with her. What? You mustn't! We only need the blood of one per day! I just have to die of my own volition. The corruption comes only for the sinner. If I'm already dead, then it no longer matters. But
You're being a pain, Kyo. If you're gonna lead, do it right. And Uematsu,
yes,
think about what you're saying. Sorry, but you're ahead of Kami Fujiyoshi, one of our oppressors.
Akumi, don't be rude to Uematsu-sama.
See? You people are the reason why Bachan got so scared. Don't act like you're one of us.
my sincerest apologies.
And why are you in Yasumizu anyway? Honestly, I'm inclined to just start leveling accusations at this point. Takamine, are you saying all of this is Kami Fujiyoshi's doing? Who knows? Maybe not all of it. But their efforts to keep us here show that they know something is up, don't they? At the very least, I really can't believe some guys who think the feast is an old wives' tale and that the wolves are really on the human side.
What?
Sorry. Hang on, let me reread that. At the very least, I really can't believe some guys who think the feast is an old wives' tale and that the wolves are really on the human side.
Is that the opinion of Kamafushi Yoji, I guess?
At the very least, I really can't believe. I
He's
can't
blaming
believe
the
some guys.
people of Kamifu of the other town.
Okay, that's what I thought he was saying. Yeah.
And the people of the other town don't believe in the feast legend,
Yeah.
supposedly.
But then they, they knew that the people of Yasumizu would die if the mist came. They deprive us not only of not only our prosperity, but even our lives.
And, I won't say that Kamafuji is a group of saints, but they're resourceful and dignified people. Not to mention sensible. It's the age where science reigns supreme. Of course they don't believe in some old superstition.
Isn't that the reason why?
What do you mean?
They didn't tell you all the secrets Fujiyoshi had to offer. That's because your only value to your family is your belief that the family heads are upstanding people and that you don't shut up about it.
Huh?
Isn't that why they forced you to stay in the Nosato mansion when you returned? Despite all the dangers here in Yasumizu?
You're crossing the line. Are you saying my family abandoned me?
Hey, that seems plausible. You're just like Yasun and I.
The heads are cruel. Those who lose a struggle for power, those deemed incapable, or simply those who dislike the ones in charge, can simply be sent here. Our situation is one thing, but Mom, she came here all the way from Tohoku and married into the Higuchi family, but got thrown out the moment Dad died.
I didn't care about that.
Mom, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I was fine, as long as I had Yoshitsugu and you, Yasunaga.
Anyway, there's no doubt that they twisted our fates. I agree with Takumini on that.
Too bad you're stuck here too, huh?
I'm not blaming Yasumizu's pizza. I'm not blaming it. Talking
not
for
blaming the
3
pizza.
hours. I'm not blaming Yasumizu's pizza. I'm not blaming Yasumizu's people. What's gotten into you? Speaking for 3 hours straight is very difficult.
Yes.
I really should have just given all of, I really should have just been Fusaishi in a perfectly reasonable world, but I've committed to it.
We're all gonna die anyway. Oji-chan was acting all tough and even he died so easily. I can't take this. Why don't you just leave me there?
You weren't like this back then. What's wrong?
I've just had enough.
How sad.
Thanks for the insight, Dick.
What's wrong?
When wolves come, everyone becomes demons.
That they do. That's why we need to hang the Yomibito.
Everyone becomes possessed by the need to kill, which is why we need to kill someone. I get what she's saying. She's like, you want to get it over with as quickly as possible, but
I think the old guy's talking more about how everyone's at his throats and being
Oh,
mean
I know.
rather than.
I know,
your
and
kill
she's
there.
saying we should end it as soon as possible, but also by talking about killing people. Yeah. Ugh, what a mess. Whatever. At least we know that Kami Fujiyoshi's people won't come and save us.
The road was blocked.
That's one reason. Anyway, I do think we should trust Kyo now. My reason's the same as Chiyomi's.
Oh dear, how sad.
Think what you want.
Anyway, when we have to hang someone, Uematsu's the easiest target. Keep acting like that and you'll be dead in no time.
Then what should I?
Just be honest and tell us what you know. Keeping quiet is the worst, and letting others take care of it won't do either. Right, Kyo?
Not just take control of the feast, Muro.
I just tried acting like the old man. That ain't me. I'll leave the rest up to you.
I don't have much left to say. Let's just hold a vote and hang whoever ends up being picked.
I'm telling you, that's too reckless.
Of course, you are free to argue your case, especially if you can prove you're more valuable alive. However, I don't want to hear any "I'm human" or "I don't want to die" non-arguments. Everyone would say that. The chosen one gives up and gives his life, leaving the fate of Yasumizu to the rest of us.
Leaving the feet?
Shut up.
If I gotta get some.
Yeah,
leather
I
in
know.
there.
We'll hang at the hanging pine.
That should do the job.
How do we vote?
We'll start with the elders. You can have brief interviews, too. When the voter decides, I'll record it in my notepad.
Huh? It's not anonymous? No way! We'll basically be telling people to die straight to their faces.
Had enough of Sarazawa's nitpicking. I'm starting. So, what's your name?
That's the old guy.
The old man who cried wolf.
He's been old when I was still young.
How old is he?
I am eternal!
I am the oldest.
Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? Which one of us do you think is a wolf?
Me? Why?
Wolf. Scary. Scary.
One vote for Chiemi Shirizawa.
Hold on, are we seriously deciding who to kill like this?
We have no choice. He's a participant too. We can't deny his right to vote, can we?
Takumi Ni-chan, say something!
Yasunaga, what do you think? I'll wait and see. Same here.
Wait, are you really?
So now it's me. I think I should vote for Chi-chan too.
Why?
Why? Daiba-chan.
I'm sorry, I just don't know. It's strange how you're so mad about everything here.
If the others survive, I don't mind dying.
Oh, I hear that, but I won't agree. Yasumizu's people are important to me, but so is my life. Not to mention, I know I'm not a wolf, so I'm not just gonna roll over and die. Sure, I'll follow the rules, but keep this up, I'll just get killed, not to mention we don't have any better options. Here, Taiba-chan, I've calmed down. Can you change your vote?
Would I?
You know what? Fine. It was my own fault for acting weird.
Are you done? Muro, it's your turn.
I'm voting for Mako.
Wow.
Takumi Ni-chan?
You.
Do I even need to give a reason? I know she's a kid, but we basically know nothing about her. It's just way too weird. I don't know how true the legends are. But if something fishy comes from Saranaga, it's only fair to think she's fishy too. Takumi, if that was how it worked, what would be the point of this bothersome feast?
I don't think we should decide based on that either.
Even if she didn't come from Saranaga, we still don't know who or what she is. Think about it this way. What if this little girl really was a wolf? If we all just ignored her because she's a kid, she'd kill us all. Do you get that?
Looks like you are thinking too, Muro. Next, Madame Oribe.
Haru Makishima-san.
Mom!
Why me?
Why not? Tell me then, why did you try to run away today? You were feeling guilty over killing your grandfather and Yoshitsugu, weren't you?
No, that's not it.
Then why?
Because I was scared. I didn't want to stay here.
Lies!
Kaori-san, stop! His death hurt all of us, even me. And Haru. All of us hurt.
Oribe-san, what will you do with your vote? Haru Makishima it is, then. I'm next, and... I'm voting for the nameless old man.
Huh? Huh?
But why?
That last exchange made me realize he's not rational. We don't need someone like that around.
That's so unfair.
She regularly said that wolves were coming even before all this happened. That's more than enough to find him suspicious. Still unfair?
He also just kind of pointed out GME and was just like, ah, and then just kind of reveled in the chaos it caused. I don't,
Yeah, but
not a huge
I do
fan
kind
of
of
him.
agree. Like it sounds callous, but even if he's not,
He's not all there anyway.
It's the least loss really.
Yeah,
That's
it
brutal, but like,
yeah.
it's a killing game.
Mm-hmm. I think he's either completely insane or secretly knows something.
Your foot wasn't stabbed. Maybe it was bitten and then stabbed to cover it up. Oh, but then why would GME wouldn't be so, well, no, he did, hang on. Nope.
I
was pretty sure he said wolf scary, so.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He was accusing her of being a wolf.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered there were feasts before this one? He should have been around for at least one.
Yeah, because Taiba has never been a part of a feast, she said, but if he's been around since before her, that's, like, that's pretty reasonable to assume.
But I haven't, and I'm over 70.
But he could have, no? He's older than you, after all. He could know something, but might be unable to say it because of senility. Might be hiding it out of malice. With this vote, I might be able to get info out of him. And if not, he's worthless. Worthless? Is it truly right to hang people based on whether they have worth at that particular moment? You say that, but if we continue, we'll make more progress tomorrow. What do you mean? Today, Muro will use his power to investigate someone. Know the truth about another person. The spider will once again protect Muro. By repeating this, it'll only take 3 times to know who's a wolf and who's not, even if we guess wrong.
Really?
In one day, we'll hang someone will get killed by the wolves, and the snake will reveal another person. We'll find out about 3 people in one day, and since all the 11 besides Takumi-chan and Nosato-san are unknown, it'll take 3 or 4 times?
Exactly. And that is incorrect logic. Because the wolves can target confirmed people, and probably will target confirmed people, so that's less information the town gets. We'll only have to hang 3 people at most. With that in mind, if you don't want to hang those close to you, you start with those who aren't. It's for the good of Yasumizu.
The problem with this is that the wolves are still killing people every single time.
And that's one less person to suspect. Net benefit, really.
Also, Len, something to keep in mind is that there's time loops and shit in this, so, there's that.
Yeah, it's a little better than Danganronpa in that regard. A character dies, it's not necessarily the last we'll ever see of him.
Yeah, I'll get around to playing Danganronpa eventually. But... Now listen here.
I'm arguing to maximize the happiness of the majority, Muro.
Nosato-san, are you serious?
What?
Janie's math only works out if the wolves only kill people the snake hasn't checked. What if they only went after those whose identity were already confirmed? For example, what if they went for you tonight? I don't think I can agree with voting based on such a flawed conclusion.
Don't you think you're being too easy on the idea of killing your own?
I haven't said anything about killing my own. I'd never say that.
Oh, man.
Well, there were some mistakes there, but we're already voting. I'm leaving your decisions to you. Next up is Mikiko Uematsu-san. Right?
Going by seating order, I'm next. How troubling. I don't have enough info to go on.
Wait, not June?
No, I guess if they were going by seating order, but I guess Nosto was going off of age. I don't know.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay, I see.
Why are you so calm?
I'll make a mistake
Oh,
otherwise.
he's saying he's relieved he's not going next. Got it.
That's why you and Mom should calm down. Please.
Hold on, Yasukun. Sorry to cut you off, but I just had an idea.
Hmm?
What? Can the monkeys reveal themselves?
Why would they? Yasunagu-kun and Sir Makishima said it'd be best if they don't present themselves.
Well, I was thinking the same thing at first, but what's the point of the monkeys then? They just know who the other monkey is, right? Not like they get any new info later.
That's true. The only use I can think of for them is catching false snakes.
But they can confirm who the other monkey is. So they can be confirmed as non-wolves just as easily as those investigated by the snake, right?
What if they lie?
Lying would be too risky. For example, I'm not a monkey, but if I went, "Hello, I'm a monkey," what would you do?
I'd say, tell me who the other one is.
Exactly. But I couldn't say it, because I'd be lying. Now, for example, if I said, "Alright, it's Mochi," then... How'd you know? Don't joke around. Well, I can't prove it, can I?
I see. But what if he played along because he thought being a monkey would make him safe?
The real monkeys would call him out, and then we'd hang all four, one after another, just to be sure.
Wow, that's...
The rule of thumb is that only wolves would try to lie to survive. So that's the right thing to do, isn't it, Nosato-san?
That's true. To clarify that would happen, you shouldn't get anyone pretending to be a monkey.
I see. It's too dangerous for both humans and wolves. It's just not worth it.
Does everyone understand? Looks like it. Then please name yourselves. We'll lose 2 suspects. Right here! What is it, Mochi? I'm saying that I'm a monkey. You're not just dragging out the joke? Yep, I'm a monkey.
So like we agreed, who's the other monkey?
Mako-chan!
Huh? Neko-chan, is that true?
What?
Oh, God.
When you woke up, was there something on your stomach?
There was a monkey.
She knows the symbols?
Yes, I taught them to her, alongside prayer to Shinai.
Do you have any other monkeys? Doesn't look like it. That confirms it.
I see. So they really are monkeys. Crap. So I wasted my vote.
I think he should be given a do-over.
You want to bend the rules?
It's best to make it impossible to retract votes. We'd have too many people trying to change their vote at the last minute. Good point. Fine.
Yeah, but there's new information that...
Yeah.
But, like, if no one else votes for Mako, then it's like, I don't know. It's still very easy to get a majority without his vote in the...
Majority, yes, but he lost all influence on the vote then. If it comes down to like 5 and 5 and the other one's for Mako, then
maybe they could change it. I don't know. It is still a little weird, but I get it.
yeah.
Sorry about interrupting. Back to Yasukun.
I'll vote for the old wolf man. My reason is that I think staying silent and doing nothing indirectly helps the wolves.
I'm next. 1,000,000 votes on Taiba.
What?
1 vote each.
Then 1 vote for Taiba. I found it weird how she just voted for Chiene out of nowhere.
What? What are you saying, boy? That's why you young'uns are such good-for-nothings.
I'm next. Alright. 1 vote for the old guy.
So even you went for him.
shut up. My reason is that I don't have any better ideas right now. That's it. Haru-chan's turn.
I'll vote for Uematsu-san. He had to have been the one who brought the corruption.
No. I am only here to fulfill my role.
And my role is to bring the corruption.
And just do that and take in the corruption. You're not doing that because you're a wolf, aren't you?
Watch your tongue! I cannot disagree. I'm powerless. You don't have to humble yourself before these people. It's your turn. The person who voted for you must be suspicious.
Listen to this guy.
I will vote for Yasunado Oribe-san.
You!
I do not find him suspicious, but I just had a thought. There would be no worse possible occurrence than were he to be a wolf.
I did say a lot. I can't blame you for thinking I'm just tricking people. But I don't think I said anything wrong. At least I didn't intend to. I don't mind if you vote for me. I believe that votes to express your outlook are important as well.
The old wolf man to the top with 3 votes. You there, child. You're the last one. Mako, do you understand?
Oh boy.
I need to choose the wolf.
Yes.
Her.
Me? Wait, seriously?
You're scary.
I mean, she is, but that's not...
I'm scared of you, too.
Need a final vote. The 9 people besides Jimmy Serizawa and the old man will vote for one of those 2.
Well, we know... Kiyonosuke is innocent, is the thing. We know that he's a human. That is actually a bad play, though, Len. Like, you see...
Yeah.
Like,
The wolf is coming.
shut up!
The results are in. Old Wolfman, 7 votes. Jimmy Serizawa, 2.
Everyone besides Taiba and Mako-chan voted for the wolf guy.
Shut up. Are you ready, sir?
We all decided this. Every one of us is equally guilty. Better get ready, old man. Do you understand?
I need time.
Huh?
Need to clean up.
Want to take care of your belongings? I believe you can allow that much.
What if he's planning to escape?
Haru-chan,
Then I'll keep an eye on him.
you do that. Why are we giving that role to Mochi?
Because Mochi's confirmed as a monkey.
Oh, that's true.
As soon as he returns, we'll take him to Saranaga. Kiko-san, there is the rope. Right here.
You brought it with you? Alright, fine, whatever.
I always keep a noose on me in case of emergency.
Oh, God. It was already evening. As I whiled away the time with some fruitless contemplation, I heard noises outside that brought me back to reality. People were shouting loudly. What's wrong? I opened the window and shouted. I was facing the cliff, so I couldn't shout to the settlement directly. They probably didn't hear me since I didn't get a response. What happened? So I shouted even louder. Besides, you stay right where the fuck you are! Huh? Was I about to get punched? What happened? I could only repeat myself. It's dangerous right now! I'm just assuming this is talking to me.
Yeah, that
Was?
seems most likely.
What do you mean? I didn't get a reply this time. I only heard several voices clamoring. Then I heard someone hurry up the dorm stairs. Who's there? I got no response again. What was happening here? Someone was definitely close. It just made me more tense.
Oh, Haraki-san!
Wow, Jimmy yet again? What a twist.
What's that supposed to mean? Sorry, but you should stay right there right now. This might be really bad.
Her voice was cut off by a scream. It was more like intense cursing. was Takumi-san's voice, no doubt about it. Chiyomi left without saying another word. Hold on! Open up! I fought the door, but it showed no signs of opening. I can help, damn it! Shit! Like hell, I was gonna stay out of the loop any longer. The raging
loop?
God damn it. Turning around, I went to the open window and decided to try jumping out. Though I was on the second floor, it wasn't too high of a drop. I'd make my legs a little numb, but so what? I jumped out without any hesitation. I properly bent my knees so I didn't hurt myself at all. And then I ran to the settlement where I'd heard the voices from. I quickly understood the cause of Takumi-san's shouting. They were cries of despair. The reason was somewhere downhill, along the way to the graveyard. There was a small grove of low trees with a carpet of leaf mold below. It would have been hard to see even if there was no mist. You could hear running water nearby. I couldn't see where it came from, but it was probably an irrigation channel for the paddy fields. There was a small crowd gathered. I peeked through a space between them. There were bodies. 2 of them.
Oh.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
One was of an old man, and the other that of a child.
Oh.
Though their appearances were vastly different, each was in a similar state. They lay on the ground with their hands over their stomachs, utterly still and covered in blood. These were the corpses of the old man who cried wolf and Shikamochi Kamoshida.
Oh.
The hell?
Why? What happened? Fusaishi, weren't you in the dorm? I was until now. Bullshit! You're the one who did this, aren't you? No, I'm not. I just came out of the dorm. I even talked to Chiyomi-chan.
Yeah, it's not Haraki-san, Takemi.
Then who did this? Forget that. We need to treat... There's no point! Don't touch them! We might still make it. They've lost all their blood. Their stomachs are open and their guts are all over. What kind of treatment can bring them back, huh? You know one? Go on then, say it! There was nothing I could say in response. There were 5 of us on the scene. Chiemi Serizawa, Takumi Muro, me, as well as Yasunaga Oribe, who was vomiting on a nearby bush, and Rikako Uematsu, who was watching the remains from a distance. Most were proactive, and I could see why they were here, but Rikako Uematsu felt a bit out of place. But then, I remembered that we were already pretty short-handed. What happened? Who did this, damn it?
Look here.
She pointed to the old guy's clothes. There were gatherings of fur all over his garment. A werewolf. If that was the culprit, then this was the work of the corruption. Was that what she was saying? No. This was completely different from how the others had died. The fur proved little. Let me see the wound. I told you not to touch it! This is completely different. Quit acting like you know shit! You never find out anything! If we stopped trying to look, we won't understand anything at all. Quit the act, outsider!
Takumi-chan, calm down.
Shut up! Everything went to hell when he got here. If he didn't come, none of this... Felt like he was about to grab me. I could clearly see the intense emotion whirling in his eyes. I thought I could get him to trust me, but now I was back to square one. Oshi? Why? Why? Yasunaga Oribe calmed down a bit and faced the remains of his dear friend. His voice was shaking. The expression on the corpse was eerily pale and emotionless. Even a look of agony was absent. It almost looked like he was smiling. Did his face muscles simply go limp? This isn't the corruption. How do you know? I'll prove it if you let me pass. He glared at me with an immense hatred before letting me through. Look away if you can't stomach this kind of thing. I walked up to the old guy's corpse. He looked as distant as always, but the lack of blood flowing in his face simply made his appearance even more creepy. I avoided looking at it while I grabbed his back and rolled him onto it. The wet sound entrails spilled from the wound in his stomach.
Ugh. I was gonna say that anyway.
How horrid.
Don't force yourselves, people. Except you, Takumi-san. Look. His stomach was clearly torn open by a blade. This isn't some supernatural punishment. It was caused by a person wielding a weapon. And since there's no weapon nearby, it means that someone intentionally removed it from the scene. So Yasumizu has someone who's both armed and capable of an act like this. Please, give me the details of what happened during the feast. What led to this? With several people here to tell me, I ended up with a decent grasp of how today's feast went. Kyunosuke-shi had suggested they choose who to kill by vote. The wolf guy and Chiemi ended up with the same amount of votes, resulting in a tiebreaker vote. Most ended up voting for the wolf guy, sentencing him to death. He said he'd wanted to take care of some things, so he and Shikamochi Kamoshida went out, while the rest stayed where they were. Were they really the only ones who left? Yeah. The feast was still going on at that point. Them leaving was an exception. You expected them to come back and resume the feast? What would you have done then?
That isn't something we can tell an outsider.
Alright. But anyway, they didn't come back. How long did you wait for them? No more than an hour. We started to worry and went out to search. Found them in less than 10 minutes. So the culprit was one of those not present. Chiemi, Takumi-san, Yasunaga-kun, and Rikako Uematsu. The 5 in the hall, Nosutoshi, Kaori-san, Meiko, Haru-chan, and Tai-san, simply couldn't be responsible. So someone killed the two, changed into some clean clothing, and came back to pretend to keep searching?
That's impossible.
Did you see each other while searching?
No. We split up to cover more ground.
And I know that this might be getting outside of the realm of the game, but, like, if someone had changed their clothes, unless they had several identical sets of clothing, then it would be noticeable. But of
So
course,
it's a visual novel. Everyone
I
has
know.
identical sets of clothing.
I know, exactly. That's why I'm saying it's getting outside of the realm of the game, and I don't think that it would be, like, mentioned at all. Let's return to the hall. We then went to the hall. Kyunosuke kept watch and confirmed that no one besides the victims and the search party had left the building. Excuse me. That limited the potential murderers to the search party, and I. I asserted that I was still in the room when it all happened, and they believed me for now. Though Takumi-san continued to suspect that I used some sort of trick to escape and commit the murders. I don't blame him for being sus of him, because, like, he did just jump out the fucking window.
Mm-hmm.
But
This
also,
guy has some
It's getting back in the
strange
yeah.
abilities.
Well, that was fair, considering everyone else was with them, but I knew I wasn't the culprit. That left only one possibility. They died right after they left the hall. Then someone removed the weapon. And you're still the only one who could have done it.
I'm telling you, I heard him in his room.
I'll say it as much as I have to. I'm innocent, and since I am, something else had to be responsible for their
That's a
deaths.
terrible argument.
Yeah, no, dude.
Yep.
See, you're avoiding.
See, I'm
using
not
the word
guilty,
murder.
so it has to be someone else. Yeah.
I mean, like, whatever. You noticed? I am. As it stands, this could be suicide, death by illness, or poison, followed by desecration of the corpses and removal of the weapon.
Something like that benefit us. If you ask me, it would become much simpler if we assumed you and Sarazawa are partners in crime, don't you think?
I don't know, but doing that wouldn't benefit me either.
Really? Tell me, is there any proof we didn't know each other before this?
Huh? We didn't, obviously, but what does that have to do with anything?
The people here believe an eerie legend. You'd have come here to take advantage of that and pretend to be monsters to murder them for your enjoyment.
Please stop! There are some lines you shouldn't cross!
Stop this, all of you.
Yamawaki-san walked out of the hall. I could see Haru Makishima, Meiko, and Kaori Oribe behind her. That made a total of 10 survivors. 9 if you excluded me, who hadn't participated in the feast.
Whoever killed Chikamochi and that Mochi and the Elder, they went against the laws. Shinrai-sama will subject them to the corruption.
She put her hands together in prayer and faced the peak of Mount Shinai, at the opposite side of Saranaga.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Strangely enough, that was enough for everyone to fall silent. Rikuko Uematsu joined in, and Meiko copied her. This was the settlement's way of solving things. They gave up on discourse and just left it all in the hands of a higher power. Bachan, what do we do now?
One has already spilled blood for the day. The Elder has died. Let's end the feast for the day and clean up.
Alright. Yasunaga, help out. I can... You just sit still. Situation was only getting worse. Soon after that, it was time to shelter, so everyone retreated to their houses. Takumi-san had entered my room and boarded my window completely shut. I don't blame him!
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not the culprit, something's gonna happen even if you're locked in. His words were harsh, but there was a hint of composure. He might have actually believed that I wasn't the one who did it. Or maybe he found peace in the idea that the mountain would punish the culprit. Or perhaps he just believed it was the work of something supernatural. Whatever the case, he was dwelling less and less on the matter. Was the wolf guy a wolf? I had no idea whether that was plausible. Assuming he wasn't, 2 of the remaining 9 were wolves. Kinosuke being a confirmed human, Takumi-san being the snake, and Meiko being a monkey, there were a whole 6 suspects. Thanks to my advice, Chiyomi suggested the monkeys reveal themselves, and they turned out to be Chikamochi Kamoshida and Meiko, though Mochi had just died. That was a heavy blow. Him being a confirmed non-wolf was one reason, but more than that, he was one of the few people here who actually talked to me without restraint. He was somewhat of an oddity compared to the rest of the people here, but I did find him to be a fun guy. I'd like to get back at whatever injustice has stolen his life. Clearing my head, I resumed thinking. Since she was acting suspicious today, Takumi-san would investigate Haru-chan. Tomorrow, we'd have only 5 suspects. I'd give them decent chances of picking out the 2 wolves. It seemed to me like it wouldn't be that hard to find the murderers, who would surely be shaken by what they had done. And then, the outed wolf, not wanting to die alone, would reveal their partner. That was the most optimistic way to look at it. From a pessimistic standpoint, though, the situation was absolutely terrible. 4 people had died today. In a normal feast of the Yomi Purge, it had to be 1 per day, 1 per night. This was double that. If things hadn't gone so well in the forest, even Haru Makishima might have died. Not to mention the dreadful state Kaori Oribe was in. I was told their relationship had gotten worse. Kaori-san was in no state to prepare food, so it was likely no one had eaten anything today.
Let's make food.
Yeah, it's... the hunger would only worsen
Eat
everyone's
something
morale.
raw.
It was best for them to prioritize getting a proper meal tomorrow. Even so, there was no guarantee we wouldn't get any more irregular deaths. For example, someone at their wit's end could attack a suspect despite the threat of the corruption. If they ended up losing more humans while the number of wolves stayed the same, the humans would be done for either tomorrow or the day after. Escape. I'd been entertaining the idea ever since lunch. The path was ruined and I'd have to travel through an undeveloped grove, but I hadn't run into anything supernatural there when searching for Haru-chan. Maybe I could get out as long as I watched where I was going.
Directly to hell.
I also had Saranaga as another option. Everyone here hated it, but that just made it less likely for me to be caught. Going down a misty, rocky cliff was dangerous, but at least it was a one-way road. I just had to be careful I didn't get taken by the currents, and it was definitely better than just staying here and dying. However, perhaps even suggesting that was dangerous. According to Rikuko Uematsu, the effects of the corruption were limited to the one who broke the laws, so you could escape them by killing yourself. However, if someone said they wanted to escape the village, the punishment would likely go to both the one attempting it, as well as the ones who allowed it. The escape would surely become a hell of an experience then. However, there was an optimistic view of the situation. Something was actually here. Something abnormal was here in Yasumizu, killing and menacing its people using abnormal methods. At the very least, Yoshitsugu Oribe, who'd went to face it, suffered a horrible death. The superstitions weren't baseless, and it was best to look at the situation from that angle. My plan of escape contradicted that. But then, how could I prepare for whatever was to come? The best I could think of was trying to familiarize myself with Fujiyoshi's superstitions. Perhaps I could find some sort of weak point or hint that could lead me to their identity. I'm not doing this. The action rhyme they did was obviously referring to the Feast of the Yomi Purge. I couldn't remember all the lyrics, but I felt there was quite a lot of info there. Perhaps there were more hints for the feast in Yasumizu's culture and general area. I felt I had to talk to Rikuko Uematsu. She was an adult who seemed more involved in Fujiyoshi's prayers and stuff than most. I needed to arm myself with more info by tomorrow morning. That, along with the proper progression of the feast, were my only ways to survive. About today's feast. They must have decided to hang the wolf guy because they just didn't care about him all that much. Simple as that. Sure, it was important to get rid of the participants who weren't cooperative. However, the fact that we'd lost 6 people, but they still hadn't gone beyond he or she is kinda shady, that was pretty bad. Yesterday, they wouldn't have hung anyone for such a petty reason. Well, the problem was that they hadn't hung anyone at all so far, but then again, it wouldn't be a good thing to give the impression it was okay to kill people just for seeming shady. This place was regressing back to a feudal, superstitious mental state. If there was something that could stop them from sinking there, it would be an outsider like me. I steeled my resolve and waited for the night to pass.
Good evening.
Ah! I was so startled by the voice on the other side of the door that I was momentarily screamed. What time was it? 7? It was too early for an attack and too late to walk around. What's wrong with you? Aren't you gonna get punished if you don't sleep?
I think another hour is fine. I was awake until 8 yesterday and nothing happened. I've been sleeping too much, honestly. I'm not tired, but I am really, really hungry.
Don't you have your food stocks?
With Kari-san being, well, you know, I decided not to touch it. Might share it with the others. We're all hungry today, so I'll just tough it out.
How upstanding.
You should eat, though.
What, the stuff from before? No, I'll pass. Why are you here anyway?
Can't sleep.
Is that really it? I haven't saved in a while. I know they said that it doesn't really matter, but it's just a good practice.
Don't forget
Last
to save
save was
frequently.
beginning of stream.
Exactly. Kind of get wrapped into things.
Haruaki-san, do you suspect me?
No,
Why?
because you told them about the monkeys, knowing full well what it meant. The Feast of the Yomi Purge is a well-constructed communication game.
Well constructed?
I mean that there's no way to win this game beyond communication. Shikamochi-kun thought the same thing. To win, both the humans and wolves need to have some tricks and individual strategies. Consider the monkeys. They seem useless at first, but you can use them to easily eliminate 2 suspects. And this is possible from day 1, so they can become reliable leaders. Though, that'd be hard for Mochi and Meiko.
Yeah, he was a free spirit, and she's a child.
The wolves, on the other hand, have to go on the defensive. In a situation where, when being suspicious is enough to get yourself hanged, it's important not to draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done, though.
Yeah, keeping your silence can be just as suspicious as being a blabbermouth.
Exactly. But there are 2 factors that make it easy to gauge trustworthiness right from the very start.
Do they have something to do with monkeys?
Yeah. You have to watch out for those who give bad advice or don't provide useful suggestions. A good example of the former is Kyunosuke-san. His poor planning threw everything into disarray, and that makes him really suspicious.
But he's confirmed to be human.
Right. Well, that's assuming Takumi-san wasn't lying about being the snake.
Huh? You're saying he could be lying?
It's not impossible. After all, anyone can say that they have a guardian. Honestly, if I were a wolf, I'd lay low until I killed a few and then claim to have a guardian to ensure my safety.
I see. But Takumi-chan came out on the first day.
Yeah. That was basically suicidal, but since that allows the spider to protect him, it's like a telling blow that hurt the attacker, I think. Anyway, all things considered, I'd say it's safe to trust Takumi-san and Kinosuke-shi. Personally, I think you're trustworthy too, since you spoke up about the monkeys.
What if I only did it because I saw your game?
Oh, that'd be bad.
Wait, hold on. Aren't you basically saying you suspected me until I spoke up about the monkeys?
Oh, you noticed.
This goddamn guy. What the hell, man?
I mean, you did show up at his room with a knife.
Yeah.
Like, I did it because I wanted to believe you.
Alright, I forgive you then.
Woohoo! Yippee!
So, who's the most suspicious one?
Mako, obviously. No. Haru-chan.
Thought so.
She's not making much sense lately, and you can explain her shift in personality by assuming it's because she killed her granddad. Or maybe she couldn't agree with the other wolf on their decision to kill Kanzo-shi and stopped trusting anyone.
Oh, that would make sense.
You could make up 1,000 reasons like this, though. We couldn't go just by that. They'd said Haru hadn't gathered many votes, but they'd treated her like some kind of pariah, making it clear that everyone suspected her. It was only natural to use the snake to check her.
Bart, do you want to see my new chainsaw and hockey mask? Bart, do you want some brownies? I got this knife.
It's just that scene. Though she doesn't seem all that good at games and stuff, it probably wasn't fair to judge her purely on not making any useful contributions. In that regard, Yasukun is way more suspicious.
Huh? But he did say a lot, like pointing out my math was incorrect. And he did say something like what you just said. Not doing anything indirectly helps the wolves, or something like that. Not to mention that on the first day, he suggested that the spider should hide.
That's true. Though most of those things were minor, he was definitely contributing to the game. The first day was especially important. For the wolves, it was best to create a flow where they could just stay quiet and wait for those with guardians to out themselves. What bothered me was the fact that he wasn't the one who'd brought up leader selection and the monkey thing. He was shady because he hadn't made those useful propositions. I thought he'd figured those things out a while ago. Or maybe I, as an outsider, just had a better grasp of the situation? I guess he's innocent then. I don't know about the rest, though. I can't even imagine what Rikoko Uematsu-san and Tai-san are thinking.
I know what you mean.
But if you looked at the circumstances outside of the feast, Rikoko Uematsu was pretty shady. It always felt like she was hinting at something. It wouldn't have surprised me if she knew more than she let on.
She even showed up in the prologue.
Yeah. If she was a village head, she could know things only those from Kami Fujiyoshi knew. There was more than enough reason to suspect her. If only we could follow that lead to solve this whole thing. It'd make things way easier.
Haruaki-san, are you enjoying this?
No.
But you look like the type who likes mystery stories.
Fuck. I won't deny that, but I can't really enjoy myself when people I care about and I are in danger. If I did act like some master detective, I'd really just be some useless amateur. It wouldn't accomplish anything.
I'm not sure I buy that.
What do you mean?
Everyone else is a mess. I think most normal people would lose it in this kind of situation.
I could say the same thing about you.
I'm not exactly normal either.
Oh yeah, I heard that you almost killed someone.
Who told you that?
That's a secret, though it didn't sound intentional.
Well, how do I say it? I think it happened in middle school. Grabbed a bat and beat up some students who were bullying the Yasumizu kids.
Whoa.
Some of them were connected to the head families, so it became a big deal. And that's basically why the adults here are so harsh on me.
Yeah, exactly. Len.
Haruka, do you want a brownie before you go to bed?
I see. So you fight out of a sense of justice. So she was sent to Yasumizu for making enemies out of the village heads.
I wouldn't say that. It's more like I just have a short temper and wanted to make a scene.
So I know that obviously because it's a visual novel, they're not gonna make like stills for this, but like I'm just kind of imagining that they're just kind of sitting up against the door like back to back with the with it still being blocked, and they're just kind of, you know,
That makes sense.
too cold to remain at the screen. Stay warm.
Well, bye-bye.
You were saying something else, Mush?
I'm just saying that was cute.
Yeah. Also, they should kiss, but that's unrelated. No. All right. Rebellious phase?
More or less. Same as Haruchan and Yoshikun. In a place as rural as this, it's rare for children to grow up as level-headed as Yasukun, don't you think?
Really? I think they'd be healthier and nicer to the edgy brats from the city. Yeah, city
Let
kids
me
suck.
rephrase that.
He says as
In a
kid.
place as poor as this.
Well, there was no doubt that Yasumizu was destitute. There were no cars, cell phones, and it didn't even feel like it had an economy. They probably lived mostly off the land, making money from whatever they could spare from their farms and hunts. Since they had no decent way to sell stuff to anyone outside, most of their business had to be done through Kamifujiyoshi. It was entirely likely they were ripping them off. No way this place could be wealthy in these circumstances. I didn't believe that money could buy everything, but poverty took its toll on the people suffering it. Some could live in poverty while retaining their purity, but that was borderline saintly. It was a lifestyle too difficult for the common masses. Also, since the people of Yasumizu were ostracized from Kamifujiyoshi, they were targets of unjust pressure from day one. I could understand why the children here strayed from the path. Though, when you look at it like that, the way they strayed was so mild it was almost cute.
Disturbed now?
Not really.
You're lying. You now think I'm so blunt I'd whip out a blunt object to beat you up.
I'm just gonna ignore that poor attempt at a pun. Sorry. What? Sorry.
So blunt
That's-
she'd whip
It's
out
a,
a
it's
blunt.
a, it is a very poor attempt at a
Really?
pun.
Yeah, very
It is-
poor attempt.
Extremely pathetic.
My ex wasn't any different. Oh God, no!
Oh? Oh, I see.
You seem confused, and I have no idea why.
You weren't lying when you said you broke up with your girlfriend?
I drove a motorbike into the mountains and just kind of kept going. A fucking whatever. You thought I was?
I thought it was just some kind of pickup line.
That's just mean. That's just mean. Our breakup was insane. I actually felt like my life was in danger.
Whoa. Sorry to hear that.
What about you?
Huh?
Your history with guys. I shared mine, so hearing yours is only fair, right?
Yeah. Well,
How many did you go out with?
2, I guess?
You're telling me that number that number 55 from last stream was a lie? No, we already knew it was a lie.
Yes!
Like gasp!
You
What happened?
lied?
What happened to you being a hyper slut who's done it with 53 guys?
I never said that. I did exaggerate a bit, but I did get tons of invitations.
And yet you only went out with 2.
Well, I didn't find many guys I got along with.
And high standards.
Yeah, good. What about me? My standards are higher than that.
Let's not go any further. If I let myself get too attached, I'd be too scared of dying.
That's actually kind of sweet. Being afraid of death is normal, though, isn't it?
Not really.
Why?
God's way scarier than death.
I feel like you have a very unusual image of God.
Really?
You think of it as something frightening that you might actually meet, right?
Everyone's met God. Maybe they just can't see it. And God really is scary. It's just that no one knows how.
Myself included?
You're the only one I don't understand. That's probably why. I'm afraid of losing you.
That's something you say to those you promise your eternal love to.
Are you mad?
A bit.
I see.
You've gotten this far, and you're still being cagey regarding your own background. You can only take playing hard to get so far until it gets annoying.
I'm just not sure what to do. This isn't easy for me either.
Just tell me everything.
I'm going back.
Jimmy!
Good night.
What the hell? Why didn't she talk? Did she still not trust me? Was she messing with me? Was she just kind of crazy? Or was it something else?
Did she look at a clock?
Crap. I wanted to chase her down and get a real answer out of her, but I was locked in. This is so frustrating. Yeah, so it was exactly what I was talking about. Though this wasn't the time to worry about that. Who would the wolves go for tonight? The wolf guy was dead, meaning there was one less person who'd vote Chiemi out tomorrow. It was likely she'd get top vote. It was best to think that the wolves would go for someone who was useful to the humans and couldn't be killed with the votes. That meant that she and Yasunaga-kun were the ones at highest risk. On the other hand, their survival would make things difficult in other ways. I'd probably be forced to consider the possibility that they themselves were wolves. Could I really trust Chiemi? I felt I could, but not completely. Whatever the case, a situation where the more talkative ones were seen as suspicious would make it harder for her to survive. Should I have talked to her about running away? No. That was probably pointless. I didn't know much about her whole God thing, but it was clear that escape wasn't even an option for her. Something scary that everyone had met, yet not fully perceivable? Was she speaking figuratively? Or could she literally see something? Shit, I don't care. I became irritated. My hunger was starting to get to me. Figuring it was better than just wasting my mental energy, I focused on taking a bath and going to bed. I had no idea just how naive my predictions would prove to be. Saving right now. Saving right now. Saving!
Nope. Not allowed to save.
Hang on, let's try that again. Saving. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I didn't click the isolation cell. All right, that's where we're going to have to call it. We're not going to get a much better stopping point than here.
Yeah.
Oh boy, who's gonna be
God.
dead?
I'm still trying to figure out who could have killed Mochi and the old man. Because if everyone was in the feast,
then
and the search was only for 10 minutes, is there something else going on here that we're not aware of?
it's entirely possible.
I bet it's that guy in the casting tray we haven't seen yet.
I genuinely don't even know his name. He's also hang on. No, hang on. No, it's not going to be in options. It's not going to be an album. But if you watch
the character voices sliders,
I guess that could work. I was going to say
I know this scroll's too slow. Forget this.
No. What I was going to say is that
Here
he doesn't show up in the opening. So yeah, others. Yeah, he's categorized under others. But yeah, no, he's not important enough to show up in the opening, so... Or maybe he's a twist villain.
Unless red herring.
Unless red herring, again. He also has glasses like the other red herring.
Oh! Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also pretty sure Kinosuke's about to die this night, just because that makes the most sense tactically for the wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This was cool. I'm glad that we're enjoying this. This is going to take for fucking ever. This is gonna take so many streams.
We haven't even got to a second branch yet.
Oh boy, oh boy. Having a good time though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going the fuck to bed though. I'm
Go the
tired.
fuck to bed.
Night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you
Good night.
next week for more Sonic Frontiers and beyond. Good night. Bye bye.
Good night.
Boy.